speed it up a little bit because
hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a busy day today here to begin the weekend here at Birmingham Airport, the VATSIM UK's annual Midsummer Madness event. Always a really good event on the calendar and VATSIM as well, and there are prizes to be won for people flying in and out of Birmingham throughout the day. The details of which are on the VATSIM UK forums, but the prizes include PMDG licenses for their products, Macco Simulations licenses, some of our own channel merchandise as well, because we're sponsoring or helping sponsor and promote the event this year with our Osprey Airways virtual airline taking part 2, as we are today of course, and a massive prize available for a winner is a flight sim experience, which is really cool. So quite a few really good prizes to be won today, and yeah, we're off to Riga out of Birmingham. Very low visibility conditions. You can see the taxiway just disappear off underneath the low cloud there. Runway 15, which is in use today. And it's going to be busy, so we need to get our clearance fairly quickly to join the queue, and then we'll go through all of the rest of it. Andy, hello buddy. Midsummer Madness is spot on. Scottish controllers run off his feet. Now I feel comfortable. I have given my headphones to my grandson, and I'll wait till later in the year before I attempt VATSIM again. Throw yourself back into it, you'll be fine. Ian, g'day to you as well over in Australia. Great to have you flying along today. Badger, welcome buddy. Andy, MPS Gaming, hello. Lazaros Kalispera, Joey Goofy Grant, hello folks, and everyone else in the chat. Great to have you with us. Throughout the journey, hit like and subscribe as well, of course. And it's going to be a noisy one, at least on the ground. So, there we are, as the EasyJet turns in, we're using the new self-loading cargo 1.6 for today as well, giving us a little bit more immersion with effectively a cabin simulation as we fly along too. And we've got a number of pilots flying with us to Riga. Change of livery though, we're in the beautiful Osprey Holidays livery today for our holiday line of the virtual airline. Riga's meant to be a nice part of the world for this time of year, so we are headed off that way. Beyond the tail there. There she is. Do love that livery. Definitely think we've got the best virtual airline liveries in the sim. Full stop. Jack, good afternoon. Hope you're well. Scott, evening. Carlito.
1435, corner site 57.
Yeah. What is 857? Just make sure it's
that's boarding.
Level 6000. The rest of that feedback is correct.
It might take a few minutes for the passengers.
So about 5
Right.
No worries, thank you.
Prepare to start boarding.
Lufthansa 995, you ready to copy clearance?
Output volume. Let's see if we can turn this whopper down just a little bit.
Lufthansa 995.
Yeah, dirty weather in Birmingham today. So if I go Meta EGBB in the live chat, you can see the weather here at Birmingham at the moment. And I'm just going to get delivery clearance straight away. So we're on the frequency, park brake set, and everything else is set, ready to go. We are expecting Daventry to Yankee.
955, confirm we are cleared to Frankfurt. Cowley to Yankee departure, flight and route initial climb.
Information Foxtrot there on the V pilot client. 121925 is the controller.
955 VPAC is correct. Yeah, you are correct. It is Frankfurt. I get Frankfurt and Düsseldorf mixed up. I don't know why. It's the E and the F. It just makes me go mad. But the VPAC is correct.
No worries.
Birmingham delivery, good afternoon. Osprey 165 on stand 41 Charlie, Boeing 737-800 with Foxtrot, QNH 1003, request clearance to Riga please.
Lufthansa 165, you're not even Lufthansa, I've got Lufthansa ahead. Osprey 165, you clear to Riga, it'll be via the Daventry to Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet on the QNH 1003, score 4462.
Clear to Riga, Daventry to Yankee departure, initial climb at 6,000 feet, QNH 1003, and you broke on the last bit of the score because it's 4466 for Osprey 165.
4462, that was my bad.
4462 for Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, reback is correct.
62,
Qantas 857, your frequency.
So with events on VATSIM, it's something that I always talk about because it's worth pointing out as well, and it massively assists the controllers because, say for example, in fact there was an announcement for it before we begun the stream today. If you are ready for pushback, we need to obviously tell delivery that we're ready. He will then pass us to ground and we join the ground pushback queue. From there, we need to make sure that we've got the tug connected and the ground pin removed and the pushback ready, so that the second we get our pushback clearance, we can release the parking brakes with GSX and we start to move in the correct direction when we click the button for left or right or whatever else, based on the circumstances of the pushback instructions. If we ask for pushback and we get the pushback but we haven't prepped the tug, then we are still sat on the stand for around about 3-4 minutes, which really stuffs the sequence up during events. So when you're using something like GSX, it's always really important to make sure that you've got the pushback tug and everything else ready to go. A couple of Dreamliners there, got a Dreamliner just there underneath. Wiz, Eurowings, TUI, EasyJet, good selection today. In fact, Lufthansa, lots of EasyJet love, and we've got BA that's just touched down by the looks of it, that we're behind the terminal. And you could just see in the cloud there the really nicely sculpted Birmingham Airport tower in the background too. Zato, hello buddy. So we've already planned for the Daventry 2 Yankee departure, and we've already put it into the FMS. Daventry then Welling, Banto, Sidfa, a crossover to Dutch airspace, the Netherlands, not Denmark. And then we're going to be routing northeasterly towards Riga. It's cruiser flight level 390 for today. It's probably worth me actually just doing a quick PA system welcome on board thing for SLC, because otherwise the passengers get really moody.
I'd like to welcome you on board this afternoon as we fly to Riga.
Oh wow, it actually picked that up.
Up here in the cockpit and thought we'd say hello while we finish entering the data into the flight computers.
So
we're not anticipating any delays, so we hope
we're at Whiskey. There's only one direction to push back here in the cul-de-sac, and that is facing Delta. So only one direction, which makes it nice and easy. From there we can expect a taxi through either Whiskey onto Echo, or we'll route on Delta all the way to Alpha, hold point Alpha 2 or Alpha Lima 1 for runway 15, and that's because low visibility is in place currently. After takeoff, Daventry 2 Yankee departure has us fly runway heading for 146 degrees, track 2.2 miles to Birmingham South 02, max 210 knots. We have a little kink, a little dog leg down south 166 and 154 degrees, and from there we begin to work back to intercept a radial inbound of 120 degrees to the Daventry VOR up to 6,000 feet, max 250 knots. From there routing eastbound over the Norfolk coast, heading over US Air Force Base Milton and Lakenheath as well, and then over the Norfolk coast there, North Sea, passing just north of Sierra Papa Yankee, and then routing over towards the Baltic Sea into lovely Riga. We've not flown here for a little while, but we've got the Just Sim Riga Airport scenery installed for today.
Osprey 1964, thank you. You're clear to Riga via the Daventry 2.
With that in mind, we should probably get prepped for pushback in a minute, although passenger boarding is still in progress apparently. Departure expected in 15 minutes.
Alpha to Riga, flight level 350, departure DPY to Yankee.
So SLC, there's not really any way to begin boarding early, so you can't click it from what I've found to say, you know, let's start boarding now, because we want to preempt a delay to our pushback. So instead, we're kind of stuck waiting for it to sort itself out, really. It's funny because they're getting thirsty already, but there's no way to serve them drinks. It's one of the kind of things that irks me a little bit with that, but it is what it is. We can pop in our route data with our winds. Yeah, and that's a really good question actually. Do you only turn on the one engine for taxi due to the weight. So yeah, you could just use a single engine for taxi out. Certainly if you're in an ATR, you 100% would be using single prop, single engine taxi.
71 with information go.
Yeah, we could do that today actually. We could do a single engine taxi, couldn't we? In which case we would start engine 2 and taxi out on engine 2 with the APU on still.
Thank you. You cleared the dust door via the Daventry to Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet from the QNH 1003.
So
Take your score 64.
let's check through this. 66.1 for the gross weight. Reserves fin res plus alternates for the diversion, 2.9 tons. 6,000 feet for the transition and our cruise there. The average winds of 217 degrees 52 knots for the duration of the cruise today as a kind of a mean average. And then the N1 limits. So using, there we go, I'll whack it over here. Let me just fiddle around with the screens. There you go. So this is Fast Airplane Toolbox. Really, really useful for performance. In fact, I need to change that to wet. There we go. Performance calculations and all that sort of stuff. Just going to reload the METAR to make sure it's refreshed. Reselect wet again. Save, and then we're going to calculate that. So I've asked it to do flaps 5, optimum thrust, engine bleeds are on, and wet runway. Let's change the takeoff profile from takeoff 1 to takeoff 2 to takeoff 1 because of the wet conditions. Using more power, so 24k D-rate takeoff profile 1, then we'll revert to climb profile 2 for takeoff. That's giving us a margin of 1,101 metres, takeoff run of nearly 2,000 metres for today. So takeoff 1, climb profile 2, zip across here, we're going to go flaps 5, set our takeoff trim, next page, we can take the data from the ATIS if we want, surface wind 100 at 10. We can update that to select wet, not going to worry about the runway slope. And then what have we got here? I think it's 1,000. Yeah, NADP2, so 1,000 foot above ground level we begin to reduce the throttles. Oops, actually that's Airbus Starly. We don't want Airbus style today. We're in the big boys Boeing. Got to do most of it ourselves today. There we go. Can never get cut back on anymore these days, but hey ho. Let's see, so that's good. That's good. That's good. 100 at 10. Yeah, that's correct. And then we can run our V speeds. 148, 158, adding the 10 there. What's that? Enable 210 at BBS 02. So we can go 210/B. Is it? No, maybe not then. Oh no, it's 210B/. My goodness. So we're just changing this to tell the aeroplane we don't need to be at 210 knots, we just need to be below 210 knots as a maximum speed.
Welcome aboard.
Correction 955, hold position, contact ground 121.
And other portable electronic devices.
Hold position 121.8, bye-bye, Lufthansa 955.
For departure. Thank you.
Crikey. Night shift for me tonight as well, so the second I finish today's live stream, got to get everything shut down, dive into the shower, then get ready for work, and I've got a 13-hour night shift at the airport ready for me tonight. Looking forward to it. It's going to be busy again, no doubt. So the weather's absolute pants. So, all right, I've actually loaded a little bit of extra fuel for today. How are we doing? God, look at this weather. Can't even see the runway anymore. Let alone the remote stands. Look, they're barely visible. Christ. This is going to be so fun.
Good afternoon, runway 2 Echo Victor, stand by.
Goodness. Who the heck is that floating on the air?
Foxtrot request departure clearance to Palma.
Rhino 2 Echo Victor, thank you. Cleared to Palmer by the Constant 2 Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet on the QNH 1003. 6 squawk 7277.
It's very weird.
Cleared to Palmer, correction, Constant 2 Yankee departure.
It's like GSX is kind of froze a little bit. Stuck.
Squawk 7277, Rhino 2 Echo Victor.
Rhino 2 Echo Victor, read that correct?
So we've got 20 more passengers left to go. David says some seriously cool Jet 2 vibes with the Osprey Holidays livery. Yeah, we wanted a bit of a charter-esque, nice holiday style livery for today. Jack says, had an issue with New Sky today, so not logging unfortunately. No worries, buddy.
All stations, Birmingham delivery. There is currently a slight delay. We're looking around about 5 to 10 minutes, so the hole's pretty busy. Also as well, just in the meantime, make sure if you use the GSX that the tug is connected. So should you get that grateful call of a push and start, you're ready to go straight. Birmingham delivery.
Eurowing 6 Mike Golf is fully ready.
1218. So we've got full ATC, we'll be past the ground, then we've got tower for the runway for takeoff, then we've got Birmingham approach online. Follow that, we've got ATC with London Centre online ready, plus Amsterdam radar. So lots of ATC at least for the first bit of the flight today. How are we doing SLC? Let's keep the punters rolling. Almost fully ready. 3 minutes remaining for pushback. Almost all items loaded. Fuel is done.
2205 on 1074 is also ready.
That's got 2205, thank you.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it's summer at all, would you? But it is an El Nino year, to be fair.
Osprey 1964, thank you.
Hello.
There we go.
Hi, Captain. Everyone's on board.
We're still waiting on ground to send us up the load sheet.
No problem. I'll bring it to you as soon as they send it up.
So one bit I wish it was a bit quicker. Yeah, you were lucky, Night Shepherd, with your trip. It was literally the second you left, summer ended. You took the good weather back to Australia with you. How dare you? Little by name. Awesome. Coventry was my local airport.
There are currently 9 aircraft at the hold, so about 2 minutes to each one, so you can do the math. So there's going to be a slight delay. It's just because there's such great people and it's a popular event. So thank you. Delivery.
At delivery, Osprey 165, stand 41 Charlie, fully ready.
Osprey 165, thank you.
So we're joining the queue. As per most events, we've got a little bit of a queue for us to wait for. The taxiway on Alpha is full all the way down. There's about 7 or 8 aircraft at the moment waiting to take off. The best way to look at this actually is probably Volanta. So there's the ATC at least heading towards Langen Radar, Groningen, and then we will be on Unicom for a little while unless other people tune in. But yeah, look at that weather over the channel as well. Wow, or the North Sea rather. We zoom into Birmingham. There it is. Look at that, Midsummer Madness in full swing. Look at all these aeroplanes queuing on Alpha. My goodness. And then everybody on stand's all waiting too. And they keep coming. So this event in particular is running across 2 days.
Easy 512, thank you. You're clear to Glasgow.
Today and tomorrow for a number of hours, so you can fly in and out.
On the QNH 1003 and set your squawk 5440.
Auto brake RTO, flight directors are on, initial climb, heading Mac, sorry, V2 plus 10. Course is set. Here's the load sheet.
Easy 512, thank you.
We're sending the load sheet up to you now.
Delays of about 20
We'll contact you for pushback once you're closed up and the beacon light is switched on. Roger.
Rhino 2 Echo Victor ready for push and start.
Rhino 2 Echo Victor, thank you. Birmingham delivery, this is Osprey 236, I'm fully ready.
The load sheet from ground.
Osprey
Passenger
236,
count,
thank you.
count and the total souls count. Plus yourselves, of course.
Thanks.
Okay, looks like we're all set. Go whenever you're
Birmingham delivery, Channel 12
Okay,
Papa.
great.
Are you issuing ISA clearance at the moment?
Okay, I let the crew know.
I am, sir, just not handed over to ground at the moment.
All stations.
Roger. Chinese 12 Papa is at stand
Centre
57.
pumps.
Type 77800. Information Foxtrot. QNH 1003. Request IFR clearance to Edinburgh.
Don't want to turn the APU on too early.
12 Papa, thank you. You're clear to Edinburgh.
But we probably should, so we can get ready for pushback when we get our notification from tower. Sorry, delivery.
Clear to IFR departure to Edinburgh on the November 1.
They closed door.
Initial count is 6,000.
Don't know.
QNH 1003. Squawk 2217.
So,
Chinese
let's
12 Papa.
Chinese 12 Papa, read back correct.
Cockpit to ground.
get ready.
Go ahead. We're starting the APU. Please stand by as we'll be disconnecting from ground power shortly. Roger. We'll monitor the startup from
KLM 1422, thank you. Clear to Schiphol, Father correction, Daventry to Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet on the QNH 1003.
Rab says 15th of June it was. Doc, hello buddy.
KLM 1422 is clear to Amsterdam, Daventry.
No commands available for the PAE system.
KLM 1422, VBAC is correct. There's about a 20-minute delay at the holding point.
Jeez! 20-minute delay at hold point. Crikey, we're going to be late today.
Okay, thank you.
I've got work. Oh god, I'm in trouble.
Delivery runner to Echo Victor, is a push and park available?
Is a what and a what available?
You hello?
A push and park.
Yeah, work would definitely understand. Yes, so guys, I was actually in Riga before I got to work. Sorry, what?
Roger.
Operate jetway.
So, I like you thinking.
Boarding. Oh, GSX is well and truly froze, isn't it? Yeah. Restart Q80L.
Let me, maybe not this year, but next year that might be available.
Roger that, I'll keep it in mind for next time.
Yeah, cheers.
That's it. Get rid.
Chinese 12 Papa, stand 57, ready for
Off it
push
goes.
engine start when available.
So we'll clear him. Get out of here.
Cockpit to ground.
Let's see what announcements we got to the ground crew.
FedEx 212 Papa, thank you.
Disconnect ground power, please. Roger.
Thank you, Chinese 12 Papa.
So I can release that in the FMS as well, as he's doing that. And that's going to get rid of the ground power
Ground
units.
power has been disconnected. Roger.
We'll leave the packs on.
Chinese 12 Papa, what's the estimate?
Yes, they are.
Time at the minute?
Currently 9 aircraft at the hold, 2-minute gaps. So I can't do maths, but I think you might be able to.
Roger, thanks. I'll quickly make a quick copy and come back, Chinese 12 Papa.
Yeah, you can make a copy. Yeah, you can probably.
Oh, look at that! See that layer of cloud we just punched through there?
I might do that, thanks. Chinese 12 Papa.
Look at that. We can't even see anything. It's so cool. MSFS live weather, no reshades, no Rex live weather, nothing like that. Just default graphics, default live weather system, and it looks bloody brilliant, doesn't it? Really good.
Easy 512. Yeah, you're done. That's 191. Read it as before. Hello.
Hey, why are the crew not closing the doors? Getting my little aeroplane soaked. Not acceptable.
Lufthansa 191. Thank you. You may have to see that again because I can't see a flight plan for you, my friend.
Cargo hatches are closed as well. Jolly good. Have a word with them crew when we get to Riga, tell ya. Right. Yeah, we just got to chill basically now. Helpful Treed Warren, hello to you as well.
Lufthansa 191.
Those of you watching in the background, perhaps you're new to the channel as well, make sure you hit like and subscribe throughout today. Say hello in the live chat too. If you've got any questions about how events work on VATSIM or anything like that, then do pop them into the live chat. We're always happy to answer, to try and help people understand the system and the network a little bit better. Danny, aka Boarding Time, welcome.
Lufthansa 191 and reback correct.
So we were due to be off blocks now, basically. Yeah, 11:25Z, which is immediately right now.
Delivery Whizgo to Mike Charlie, getting in the queue for pushback.
Whizgo to Mike Charlie, doing what we do best, making a queue, and you're in it.
Joey, are people still departing? It's just so murky that we can't see.
Right, 1 Charlie Lima, many thanks. Stand by your number 1. I just need to wet my, need to have a jigger coffee.
Call me back when you're ready out to fix right now, watch what I think.
What have we got here? Main panel. Could be background lighting, isn't it? Let's
right,
turn that
1
off.
Charlie Lima, ready to copy.
I'm conscious that we are kind of basically flying low vis today, so for that, I want as little lighting as possible in the flight deck.
Thank you. You're cleared to Dublin. It'll be the 11-1 Yankee departure. Initial
Just the
time,
backlighting.
6,000 feet on the QNH1003. Set your squawk 5015.
Dublin, 11-1 Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet, QNH1003.
Salvatore asking what are my specs. You've got to keep, you've got to use the spec command, and this is people keep arriving. Yeah, so that's the problem, because arriving traffic are going to get priority over the departures, so that does cause an issue.
It's probably my fault as well. Reback is correct.
Yeah, 2 on final, 3, probably 3, yeah, 3, 4, 5,
15 minutes to land right now.
6.
Yeah. 486 around 12. Information go for board. You're on 1892.
So always load a little bit of extra fuel for these events.
Easy 486, thank you.
It's a lot of red
over the
airfield.
1 Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet on the QNH1003. Status squawk 2150.
Might have to actually make use of the wipers today. Not that they wipe anything, but still.
To 2150, easy 486.
Easy 486, feedback correct.
Prepare for pushback and departure. We'll just wait for it.
Change 1-2 Papa, now back in the flight deck.
Takes 1-2 Papa, thank you, you haven't missed much.
Bergen delivery, hello, it's 10X8, Yankee Mike, 737-800, we've got information Golf. QNH1003, departure clearance to...
KLM over there.
10X8 Yankee Mike,
Look
hello,
at the rain.
cleared to Palin to Mallorca via the Compton to Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet on the QNH1003. Status squawk 4720.
Departure check completed. Bypass 10 inserted.
This is no commands available, but I would like to turn around and be like, oh, yeah, we've got a delay because of X, Y, and Z. Speak to the crew. See what we got here for SLC.
Hi.
Cleared to Palma to Mallorca for Compton to Yankee.
How are things in the back?
We're already here. Once we start, taxi will get started securing the cabin for takeoff.
Thanks a lot.
Yankee Mike, I don't know if that's just made me chuckle, I don't know what feedback is correct.
For the second attempt.
Brilliant.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead.
Birmingham delivery, good day. Right.
I will do a radio check. Doesn't really help us though.
Roger.
Right now, 45 Papa Charlie, reliability 5, hello.
Readability 5 as well, 45 Papa Charlie.
How are we doing in the cabin? Let's have a little look. crew are walking around, doing a little bit, monitoring passengers. 43% are hungry, 40% need the toilet. The seatbelt signs are off, so they could just use the toilet.
5 Papa Charlie 737-800 at stand 75. Request IPAR through to Amsterdam Information Golf on board.
Right, 4-5 Papa Charlie, thank you. With Golf, you're clear to Schiphol via the Daventry to Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet on the QNH 1003. And set your squawk, so I'll give you something to see. 0474.
Clear through to Schiphol on the Daventry to Yankee departure up to 6,000 QNH 1003, squawking 0474. Ryanair 45 Papa Charlie.
Ryanair 45 Papa Charlie, read back correct.
Lovely weather reverting in today.
Subject 854, thank you, you're in the list.
What's the number?
11.
You got windshield heat. The window
You
heat
are.
is on.
Delivery, KLM 1422, we are ready to push
KLM 1422, thank you, you're in the list.
Little BA pushing back down there.
Birmingham delivery EZ486 requesting push start.
EZ486, thank you, about you to the list.
Birmingham delivery, good afternoon. Eurowings 8813 Airbus A330 300 evident information goes at stand 85. Would like to pick up IFR clearance to Riga, please.
Eurowings 8813, I'd love to do it. If you can pop a flight plan in, I'll give it to you.
10-4.
Good afternoon, Birmingham clearance. This is Alfa Romeo 0162. Information is Golf.
There's no way to even check to see if we're in the queue, that's the thing. I said we're fully ready.
Alpha Romeo 0162, Birmingham ground. Hello, you're clear to Edinburgh for the London 1 Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet on the QNH 1003. Set your squawk 1456.
Cleared to Edinburgh via.
I have to try and get a bit of the time back by
is 1456.
doing max 82 on the way.
Level 60.
Alpha Romeo 162 is the Lovin 1 Yankee departure. And I popped it in text for you on the whole.
Oh, interesting. Seatbelt signs are on.
And the rest of you will be back is correct.
And Eurowings 8813, we have flight plan file.
1 Yankee departure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got 4 minutes until fine
And
start. Oh
Eurowings
god, yeah.
8813, a flight plan should be filed.
Eurowings 8813, roger.
Yeah, I'm on delivery still, Lazarus. Delivery 165.
Go.
Are we monitoring your channel still in the queue?
Yes, you are, I'm afraid.
No worries, just I asked.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's kept on here. It's ground's getting a little bit of grief as well, so we appreciate it. There are still the cold. What's happened is that where I've handed over people before, he's still waiting to clear those. Then en route we've got holding as well, so we're trying to get the arrivals in. So it is a work. Well, it's not a work in progress. We're working through it as best as we can.
No worries, I just need more snacks.
Oh yeah, no worries. I thought if I'm telling you, everybody else will you can hear it as well. Yeah, smack away.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Coming in delivery, Ryanair 1 Charlie Lima, pushing start.
Ryanair 1 Charlie Lima, thank you. You're in the list. You are number 14.
So what he means there is, last time I did controller here actually. Ages ago, we had to do a ground stop on delivery because it was so chaotic.
813, you ready to copy code?
So in
We're ready
effect,
to copy, 8813.
what it means is
Your rings 8813.
we've said that we're ready for pushback. We're fully ready, how we've reported that to the delivery controller, and now we're just waiting in the queue. But there's a queue for a queue, if that makes sense. So there's a queue at delivery before we get handed over to ground.
6,000 initial climb, QNH 1003, squawk 0474, and we're ready
Rab,
for
you're
push
number
and start as
14,
well.
or am I?
Your rings
Number 14.
8813. Thank you. You're in the list.
To be honest, I wish we just maybe
Thank you
planned a
very much.
shorter route.
And that's in Ryanair 20 November 755 left. Question 57 left. Information Golf Country request currency Verona.
Ryanair 20 Papa November. Thank you. You're clear to Verona via the Cowley to Yankee departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet from QNH 1003.
Let's see how we're doing. We leave the tug connected. Yeah, David, hello buddy. 40 on the ground. Ah, nice to see some old school Monarch. Liveries on the ground here. Crazy heavies. Everybody's in the heavy. The thing is, that in itself stuffs it for people because they have to have a bigger
It's amazing how many people have pushed start for their clearance. You're the list.
clear. They have to have a bigger sign of weight turbulence delay. There's the hold. Look at that.
Can you tell us at least 5 minutes before so you start getting to you?
You just got to keep an eye out, my friend. Because it may be, at the moment, the longest wait is 19 minutes.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Jet 2's just landed.
To Echo Victor. 2 questions. One, could you tell us our number in the queue? And
707 liner is not different, buddy. It's just the way Belanta works. I have asked them to change that.
You've been waiting 16 minutes, and it's still another 7 queues, so about another 7 minutes. Sorry.
I think we will do a single engine taxi, you know, folks, because otherwise we're going to be struggling with fuel.
I'm not going to get that, I'm afraid. The longest wait at the moment is 20 minutes.
Roger. Ryanair 45 Papa Charlie, stand 75, request push to start.
Ryanair 45 Papa Charlie, you're in the list, thank you. So that's a 1901, thank you.
Getting in delivery, Beaver 64, also ready for push and start.
Beaver 64, thank you. Echo Alpha Sierra Yankee 71. I don't want to get narky. You haven't called for clearance. Your easy is spelled easy instead of it was before. So please, if you're going to do it, ask for clearance. Don't try and queue jump.
Standard delivery easy 46, just requesting an update on the pushback.
The update is there is no update.
The best kind.
Birmingham delivery, Seabird 839, radio check.
Speed of 5.
Readability 5, Seabird 839.
A little Jet 2. Mike says, when I did a Lisbon event a while ago, they did off blocks time. Yeah, so this is a little different to say cross the pond, cross the land, those sort of mega VATSIM wide events. And that is because with this being different, you don't have to have a slot. So you connect, you get your clearance, and then you join the queue. And then the controllers will work through that queue for everybody, basically, in a fair way. So when you connect and you get your clearance, you're in the queue. When you're fully ready, you progress through the queue, if that makes sense. And then when it's your turn, you get clearance to push.
Seabird 839, Airbus A320, stand 75, QNH 1003, information Golf request clearance, IFR Geneva.
Seabird 839, thank you. Clear to Geneva, it'll be the Cowley to Yankee departure. Initial climb.
But in a way, if you're new to VATSIM, just being on delivery, it's a really good way for you to pick up how getting clearance works.
The
flow of information that you get you give to the controller, and then the flow of information you get back as well in a quite set formula.
Steven 839, read back for it.
Call sign, aircraft type, stand number, ATIS number, QNH, and then your clearance to whatever destination you're flying to. And then you get back information like your SID, your instrument departure routing, standard departures. So in this case today, the Daventry 2 Yankee with any initial climb that might be in place. Although not everybody gives the initial climbs. Some controllers around the world will expect you to know what your initial departure altitude is. The delivery controller here, like I do when I do it as well, I will give the initial climb. The controller here today in clearance delivery has done that as well. So initial climb is 6,000 feet. Which means that that is the altitude that we set for the departure inside our MCP.
You're in.
There. So 6,000 max 250. We cannot go above it, and you can see there through past just south of Coventry, Birmingham East 12 to 19. You can see there 4 to 6, 5 to 6, and 6,000. But in all likelihood, we'll be on delivery. We'll go from delivery to ground for taxi, pushback and taxi. At the hold, we'll be past the tower.
121.8. Bye bye.
And then from there,
thank you.
We'll be pushed onto Birmingham Approach, or Birmingham Radar, as their call sign is known. They might step us out through 6,000 to a different altitude instead on the departure. That's based upon whatever ATC clear us to do, and then we'll be handed up to London Control.
3, request IFR to Manchester.
Ryanair 1289, thank you. File the flight plan and give me a call once you've done.
Alright, we're filing 12.
Osprey 2472, you there?
Osprey 2472 is still here, drinking coffee.
Sweet. It's after midday. I'm going to start the slider in a minute. Hold position, contact ground 121.8. Bye bye.
121.8 for Osprey 2472.
Late departure.
It's well after that
very
in Australia, so yeah.
Bad flight experience.
Cheers, mate. Ascot 2205.
Thing is, I can't give an PA.
Hold position, contact ground 121.8. Bye bye.
1218 is pre-tuned for us, so when we get handed over, we're ready. 4462.
Osprey 1964.
Yeah.
Osprey 1964. Hold position, contact ground 121.8. Bye bye.
There's 3 released.
1.8. Cheers. Bye bye.
Oh, Jan, that doesn't sound good.
Osprey 165.
Can we try again on that?
Go ahead.
Osprey 165. Contact ground 121.8. Bye bye.
Woohoo! Ground 1218. Thanks to the ATC. Great job. Enjoy the event. Osprey 165. See ya.
See ya. Ryanair 2
is approved to be able to taxi via taxiway Tango.
And then 1183.
Pushback and start is approved, and we're expecting to be taxied by Tango for Osprey 2472.
Ground hello, Osprey 165 Alpha, stand 41 Charlie. Request push start.
Ascot 2205 Birmingham ground. Good afternoon. Stand 70. Cushion stand 74. Push and start is approved. Face west. Push start approved and face west. Ascot 2205. Osprey 165 Birmingham ground. Good morning. Stand 41. Push and start is approved.
Go ahead.
Push start approved. Osprey 165. Thanks.
Call me when you require pushback. Actually, we're all set to go now. Feel free to get connected.
1964, stand 55, right, ready for pushback setup.
Osprey 1964 Birmingham ground. Roger, hold position. You'll be number 1.
Hold position, number 1, 1964.
So we're ready. Pumps. Backs. Hydraulics.
Ground to cockpit.
Lights.
Osprey 4905. Hold Alpha 5 and monitor Birmingham Tower. 118.3.
To automatic.
Hold short Alpha 5 and over to Tower 118.3. Osprey 495. Thank you. Bye bye.
Starting now if you haven't already. Roger.
So it's SLC can't keep up with GSX. Look, it's completely buggered itself there, but I can't be bothered to wait for SLC. That's it's got messy very quickly. Look, which is a bit annoying. So there's obviously a little bit of a bug here with that. Let's pause the music, and we're going to do engine 2 only taxi for today. No doubt when we get our SLC flight report at the end of the journey today, we're going to be criticised on the report for not advising about engine start for the ground crew. In reality, certain airports, if the beacon is on, we stay well away from the aircraft engines. And this is one of those scenarios, so it's on the ground crew really.
A taxi right up to Echo Yankee stand.
Look at that weather, my goodness, that is shocking. And the safety demo started.
Eurowings 6 Mike Golf, are ready for taxi.
Eurowings 6 Mike Golf, a taxi right Delta Alpha, hold Alpha 5.
Right to Delta Alpha, Alpha 5 holding there. Eurowings 6 Mike Golf.
Ground to cockpit.
Ground. We have a good engine.
Go ahead.
You can disconnect.
Tow is connected. Release parking brake.
Yeah, look, SLC's well and truly lost itself there. The annoying thing is,
Alpha Romeo 0162 is
yeah, it's well and truly stuffed itself there. We kind of can't get beyond it.
Push and start clearance.
Andy says SLC will have better syncing with GSX in September. Yeah, that needs to hurry up really, because this is a bit messy, isn't it? Look.
I did not give you push and start clearance. You gave you clearance, please, sir.
Who's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Requesting push and start clearance.
Yes, sir. You need to go back onto stand, sir. You need to wait your turn. So go taxi stand onto 42 left.
Oh God, it's one of us.
Oh, copy that. I will return there. My turn.
Thank you.
Grounds. Good afternoon. Whisker Chima Charlie. Stand.
Yeah, whoever that is in the Osprey, you can't just push. It doesn't work like that in an event. You can't do that, buddy. You can't do that. You've got to go back to stand and join the queue, like everyone else.
Short push. Push approved. Chima Charlie.
Whisker Chima Charlie. Apologies. And the face west.
Tow is attached.
Facing west. Chima Charlie.
Stand by while we start pushback.
Pushback's well and truly screwed, look, isn't it?
Please release your parking brake. The parking brake is off.
6 Mike Golf. Monitor Birmingham Tower 118.3. Bye-bye.
Need the ground pin.
Monitor
There she goes.
118.3, Eurowings 6 Mike Golf. Thanks for the ATC.
Logo light, we'll pop that on. Pop the wing light on as well. Osprey 165, request taxi.
Osprey 165, roger, hold position when aircraft manoeuvring in front.
Yeah, hold position, Osprey 165. What are they doing? Don't know. Come on, we've got to set a real good standard on Osprey, folks, especially during events. That's a must. Everything starts on delivery, and you have to stay on delivery until you're past 2 ground, like we've done. From there, you'll be then passed to whatever else you need.
Please release your parking brake.
Osprey 165, taxi right onto Delta, hold Delta 1.
Right, Delta, hold Delta 1, Osprey 165.
Hello, holding Charlie 2.
I'm hoping that'll just sort itself out.
5 Romeo Whiskey.
Well and truly screwed that, isn't it?
Right onto Echo Yankee, stand.
Hello, is there anything to do with single engine taxiing in the 737? Good question. Not really. We're limited as to what we can do. We've got to leave the APU on, of course.
Please release your parking brake. Roger. Parking brake release.
Flap 5.
Birmingham ground, good day.
B nav.
Osprey 236.
Auto thrust.
Stand 83 right, ready for push and start.
Although that can't, actually, we can't set that because the engine 1 isn't ready.
Osprey 236, roger, hold position.
Hold in position, thanks.
And Birmingham ground, Osprey 2472 is ready for taxi.
Osprey 2472, roger, taxi right up to Tango.
Okay, Delta 1 is before Tango, so we can do some control surface checks as we taxi. Single engine.
Ground, Ascot 2205 is ready for taxi.
Ascot 2205, taxi home point Victor 1.
Victor 1, Ascot 2205.
Ground runner to Echo Victor, 58 ready for push.
Hello.
Runner to Echo Victor, roger, hold position, push will be given shortly.
Thank you.
Runner to Echo Victor, hold position.
When you're ready to go, and I'll get the crew seated.
Pretty much, yeah.
No problem.
Osprey 1964, after
God, this weather, wow.
Boeing 737-800 has taxied past
where is it? This
Victor,
one.
stand 55 left, push and start is approved, face west.
Obviously it doesn't do anything, but still we can simulate that.
Approve after traffic 1964 to the left.
Left and right for the turn, Delta onto Delta 1, here we go. Wants us to start engine
Starting
1.
number 1.
Again, that's not necessarily correct either.
Whiskey 2 Mike Charlie, ready for taxi.
Whiskey 2 Mike Charlie, taxi home point uniform 1.
But we're kind of stuck in this sequence with SLC now, where we can't get out of it. Because we're kind of still in this pushback in progress thing. Very weird.
Alfa Romeo 016.
It's actually really quite buggered, isn't it? Pushback in progress, look, it's just stuck. Can't bypass it or anything.
Alfa Romeo 0162, roger, contact Birmingham delivery and hold position. It's 121.925.
121.925, Alfa Romeo 01. Thanks.
Yeah, we're proper stuck on pushback in progress, aren't we? Let me turn engine 1 on anyway. Maybe that'll kick it in. Possibly, Stuart, yeah, I hope so. You gonna give way to me? I hope so. Yeah, now he is. Jolly good. You see some Osprey down there, look. Looking good.
Osprey 165, continue taxi Delta Alpha, hold Alpha 5.
Continue taxi Delta Alpha, hold Alpha 5, Osprey 165. When we come to a stop in a moment, that's when we will work through this.
737 ahead of you, taxi to Holman Alpha 5 via Delta Alpha.
Behind the 737, taxi, second 3.
Taxi to Holman Alpha 5 via Delta Alpha.
Point Alpha 5 via Delta Alpha, so 205.
Is it chaos in Birmingham? Absolutely. Can't even see anything. Look at the cloud then just pass and shrouds that Osprey in cloud there.
A right push and start is approved, face west.
Push and start approved, face west. Osprey 336, thanks very much.
So currently we are 30 minutes behind schedule. 9.5 tons of fuel. Now it's really important. We've got to check our minimum takeoff fuel actually. 9346. So we're almost at minimum takeoff fuel. And if that happens, we're going to have to go back to stand.
Stand 58, push and start is approved to vacate and taxi by Tango.
Push, start approved, face west, long push so we can make the right turn out onto Tango running to Victor.
That's so should sir. Osprey 165, monitor Birmingham Tower 118.3. Bye bye.
Monitor Birmingham Tower 118.3. Enjoy the event. Thanks for the ATC and great job. Osprey 165. See ya.
We're on the Osprey.
So here's a key phrase: monitor. So very similar to VATSIM, when you get told to monitor Unicom 122.8, means you don't have to transmit anything. We've just been told to monitor tower 118.3. So we've tuned to the tower frequency 118.3, and then from that, we don't have to transmit anything.
3905, clear takeoff, 15.090 degrees, 16 knots.
So we're going to taxi to Alpha 5 up here somewhere.
Runway 15, clear for takeoff, Osprey 495.
There goes to Goku. He's away. Can't even see him on the runway.
Ryanair 43 Yankee Hotel.
We're just going to monitor the frequency. So we don't say anything. We just wait for ATC to call us up.
Continue 43 Yankee Hotel.
Seabird 402, contact Birmingham radar 123.975. Bye bye.
Please keep your parking brake on while we monitor engine startup and disconnect the tow. Okay, Captain. Looks like a good startup on all engines and tow is disconnected. Nose wheel is free, so you're good to go.
There we go.
We'll get ourselves disconnected.
You're just coming to a stop there. Refresh the automation of the SLC cargo.
Thanks very much. Pin on the right, and we'll see you again soon.
Eva Lacer, good evening to you. Living on a player. Hello, buddy. There goes to Goku. Zoom, zoom. In the headwind A330, my god, look at that, straight into the cloud. And he's gone.
Ryanair 43 Yankee Hotel, clear to land 15.
Yeah, that's a good one as well, David. So another one you might get is contact tower 118.3 call sign only. So then you would tune frequency 1183, and then all you would do is call up with your call sign. In this case,
Osprey 495, contact London 121.025.
Osprey 165.
Bye bye.
121.025, Osprey 495. Thank you. Bye bye.
That's our next frequency. We'll get it ready.
Figurian 74, Papa, Birmingham Tower, hello, continue approach.
Jeez, look at this. Well, that's up to you, Atlantis.
Golf, line up and wait, runway 15.
Personally, I think MSFS is just in a whole new class of its own now. Beautiful touchdown from Ryanair, look at that. And again, he's down on the runway, but he's vanishing in the cloud. Incredible. Alpha 5 is coming up here. You can see the marker and the stop line. We cannot proceed past this. This is our clearance limit for taxi. So gently on the brakes to a stop, and we're just monitoring. Eventually tower will contact us.
Ryanair 43 Yankee Hotel, welcome to Birmingham, vacate left on Charlie, hold Charlie 2.
Vacate left on Charlie, hold Charlie 2, Ryanair 43 Yankee Hotel.
Laps 2, good spot. Laps 5 is what I want. Just a slight discrepancy with my keybinds on my throttle.
Eurowing 6, make golf, clear takeoff, 15, wind 090 degrees, 16 knots. Cleared for takeoff, Eurowing 6, my golf. Osprey 165, taxi forward, hold Alpha 1.
Taxi Alpha 1, Osprey 165, hello. It is a holiday plane, Mr. Turtle. He's just been cleared to take off. Look at the visibility. This is insane.
Ryanair 43 Yankee Hotel holding Charlie 2.
Ryanair 43 Charlie Hotel, thanks, contact ground 121.8, bye bye.
You know what, I've not checked. Take off 5.82 for the trim. Naughty me.
Ascot 2205, Birmingham Tower, taxi forward, hold Alpha 1.
Taxi forward, hold Alpha 1, Ascot 205.
Ligurian 74, Papa, cleared to land, 15, wind 090 degrees, 15 knots.
Get to that 15.
Birmingham Tower, Ryanair 849, good afternoon, on final runway 15.
Ryanair 849, Birmingham Tower, hello, continue approach, your number 2.
Continue approach, Ryanair.
Bernie, using a website like map.vatsim.net is a really good way, or even you can go on to vatsim.uk/airports/EGBB, I think, and that will help. We've got one that's landing. They've actually done an incredible job. Look, they've managed to clear the taxiway from of a backlog entirely here. So we'll just maintain our speed. We don't need to race to the threshold because they've sequenced aircraft to land ahead of us. So we've got lots of aeroplanes in the vicinity of the airport at the minute on final approach in this incredibly low vis. Look at that. He's only just got visible now at 50 feet from the ground. Really bad weather here. For takeoff as well, just for information, we've got an 8 knot crosswind on runway 15 today and a 5 knot headwind. So we've got a bit of work to do. With that in mind, we've got to try and identify where the nearest windsock is here. There's usually one around the kind of departure runway. There it is. So we can see the wind is actually coming from the direction of the terminal. Now it's disappeared, which is why we've got to try and identify it where we can when we're thinking about departure. ECAM memos, no blue. We're going to clear the bottom screens. We've done our takeoff checks as well. Going to pop that onto TARA, pop traffic mode on. We've been cleared to Alpha 1.
Papa, Roger, hold Tango 1, please.
Fuel flow reset rates, LNAV, VNAV, auto thruster, all armed, auto brake RTO set, and anti-ice not required at the moment. AP was off. Alpha 2. Alpha 1 is what we've been given.
2 Foxtrot Alpha Tower, hello, continue approach.
They're doing an insanely good job, Rab, yeah, absolutely.
Ligurian 74, Papa, contact ground 121.8, bye-bye.
And you can see on TCAS we've got 1 short final.
15 clear to land, wind 090 degrees, 12 knots.
They've sequenced this wonderfully.
Eurowings 6 Mike Golf, should I contact approach?
Eurowings 6 Mike Golf, my apologies, you can call London 121.025, bye-bye.
Break on.
Going to London 121.025, thank you, bye-bye.
Cabin crew, please take seats for takeoff.
Osprey 165, Alpha 1 ready for departure and turn.
Osprey 165, Roger, I'll get you going as soon as I can. The gap between the next two is quite close, so probably after the second arrival I should be able to squeeze you out.
Yeah, no problem at all. We'll hold Alpha 1 now, Osprey 165, thanks. Whimsical Aviation, good afternoon. Tony says, good grief, is this live weather? It is. It is live weather, yeah. It's awful, isn't it? Bloody rubbish. Can't even see beyond the tree line, really. Really horrendous weather. You've got that glisten of the rain on the ground. There's the aeroplane on final, look. That's how bad the weather is. So, right there is the ILS for runway 33, because it's the opposite end of the runway. And beyond that is a little park where spotters go, and there's a little bench on this Macco Simulations Birmingham scenery. But yeah, look at that.
Tower, Ryanair 754 X-ray, fully established 15.
And one in behind, 2 miles.
X-ray Tower, hello, continue approach.
Continue approach, 754 X-ray.
So I've got our takeoff bit briefed. We've got the ILS retuned for runway 15. If we have a problem after takeoff, we'll fly runway heading. We'll level off, deal with the emergency. We'll make sure our speeds stay safe. And then we'll work to turn back. Probably runway 15 for the approach. We'll expect to have to fly a downwind leg, that sort of thing. Next one's coming in. Can't see him though. Can you?
It's Flyby to Foxtrot Alpha, cleared to land 15, wind 090 degrees 15 knots.
God, he's bold.
Land runway 15,
Flyby.
Flyby to Foxtrot Alpha.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know that we are currently holding position. There's an aircraft departing in front of us. It should only take a few moments, then we can get going. Thank you.
So SLC rates you based on how bad it is. Basically, it's a bad flight overall experience at the minute. They're getting thirsty, bored, and they need to use the toilets. That's not my problem. That's a them problem. You should have used it in the terminal. But yeah, look at that. There he is. The silhouette of an aeroplane just flying in on final.
Ryanair 849, you need to stop reconnecting and disconnecting on my runway.
And then all of a sudden, he's vanished again through the rain. And then we've got another one and short final look straight behind. What a great day for flying this is. Look at that. Oh, I love it. So good. Was it 1 o'clock now? What's the flight time? 2 hours 18. Okay, so I've got 10-minute window between now and when I have to take off before I really need to be getting ready for work. So we are right on the cusp of this. It's almost like we planned the stream time intentionally.
Ryanair 754 X-ray, traffic ahead's disconnected, hopefully it stays that way. Clear to land 15, wind 090 degrees 10 knots.
First one to runway 15.
Probably had really bad frames to be fair.
Tower Charlie, good on 0 Lima.
Ligurian 01 Lima, Birmingham Tower, hello, continue approach. You will be vacating right after landing.
Right after landing, continue 0 Lima.
Right, there's one after the next, after the next.
In Birmingham Tower, Eurowings 8813, hello.
Were you told to monitor tower or call up? God. Zarto, naughty.
Osprey 165, apologies. Some of the traffic haven't been maintaining the speed restrictions, which has caused the gaps. I'll get you out the next minute or two.
Yeah, it's no problem at all. We're almost at minimum takeoff fuel. We're hold position, Osprey 165.
Birmingham Tower, hello. Eurowings 8813, hello.
Eurowings 8813, Birmingham Tower, hello. When you're told to monitor the tower, it means you tune the frequency and don't speak to me, I'll call you.
There we go. Naughty.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
We just discussed it on stream. Oh.
Ryanair 754 X-ray, welcome to Birmingham, vacate left Charlie, hold Charlie.
Cross feeds off, pumps are all on, that's all set.
Charlie 2, Ryanair 754 X-ray.
We're going to have problems with fuel in a minute. This is why we discuss these things on the stream, to try and prevent these little easy mistakes to make, though, of course, from happening.
Ligurian 01 Lima, clear to land 15, wind 090 degrees 13 knots.
And we are clear to land at Ligurian 01 Lima.
Ryanair 754 X-ray, contact London, correction, Birmingham ground.
So this is a smaller jet, and I'm hoping that will mean that we get the opportunity to line up after this guy with a conditional.
1218, Ryanair 754 X-ray.
That's another point, really. worth talking about is speed restrictions on the arrivals as well as the stars. We have to adhere to those on the VATSIM. And if ATC say maintain speed 180 knots or 200 knots during any point, then we have to make sure that we do that. Takeoff speed's all good, that's all set.
Birmingham Tower, good afternoon. Your wings 29 golf, fully established 15.
Takeoff 1, climb 2. Takeoff, that's good, that's set.
Eurowings 29 Golf, Birmingham Tower, hello, report your airspeed.
170 knots.
Okay, make it 160 till 4, please.
160 till 4, 29 Golf.
Osprey 165, line from weight, runway 3, correction 15.
Line up and weight 15, Osprey 165. Strove steady. Lights and signs. Runway turn off lights on, landing lights on. Ignition modes are both on continuous for takeoff. Traffic mode is on. Transponder TARA, order brake RTO, flight directors all set. Flaps 5 and green. We've briefed for any rejected takeoff. There we go. We'll expect immediate takeoff now.
01 Lima, Roger, taxi standard choice, good afternoon.
Good day.
Osprey 165, clear takeoff, 15, wind 080 degrees, 13 knots.
Runway 15, clear for takeoff, Osprey 165. %. Make sure we've got the nose wheel centered. Toga. Doors, that'll clear. It's a bug with PMDG that they haven't solved yet. Sticks forwards, maintain the centre line, and stick into wind. Really important. The Airbus does it for us. Boeing, we've got to do it. Accelerating quickly, very low vis. Lots of rudder. Whoa. Whoa.
Positive rate of climb.
You can hear the screaming. Very choppy. Into the clouds. Just staring at the flight directors.
Golf, good land, 15, wind 070 degrees.
All our job is fly the plane.
Good land, runway 15, Eurowings, turn Golf.
After
takeoff checks, order brake RTO, landing gears off. Runway, turn off lights.
5, contact London 121.025. Thanks for your patience, bye bye.
London 121025, Osprey 165. Thanks, great job, enjoy.
Cheers.
121025.
Easy 29 Delta, descend flight level 110.
110, Easy 29 Delta.
Easy 21 Delta, contact Birmingham Airport.
That was really tough departure conditions there, that was great. That's still in the cloud.
Lufthansa 5 Mike Charlie, descend flight level 120.
Descend 120, Lufthansa 5 Mike Charlie.
We'll be downgraded for that because we didn't say anything about.
Descend flight level 160. Flight level 160, easy as well.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying
Flight control, hello Osprey
so
165, 3000 Daventry to Yankee.
Signs on for a few more minutes as we make our way through some bumpy areas ahead during our climb.
Left 090 degrees, Osprey 165.
As soon as we're clear, I'll turn off the sign and you'll be able to move around the cabin.
213, yeah, no, a bit of a weird.
Vectors for departure.
360 degrees, I'll get you back on track.
360, easy 213.
Canada 865, climb flight level 190.
Flight level 190, 865.
FedEx Charles, David 84650, Brooklyn, Julia, 2000.
Easy 864, we can contact landing control 127.1.
Look at that.
Control, good afternoon, United, so there's a Riga flight 190 inbound holiday.
Beautiful.
902, hello, Sim 1 Lima, arrival for Luton with me 07.
Oh wow, look at that.
Sim 1 Lima, Rapper Fleet and runway 07, United.
So good. Welcome to everyone if you are tuning in for the first time. It's great to have you on board with us. Flaps up. Cabin crew are now released out of the cloud when it's safe to do so. And we're waiting for flaps up, no lights.
Exhibit 846, contact London Control 127.1.
Good, that's set. Levelling off at 6,000 for the constraint. Speed will accelerate to 250.
Canada 865, fly heading 355.
With that, we will then begin to decelerate. That's it. Flaps up, no lights. After takeoff checks complete. We're going to do a fuel check when we get to cruise.
Juliet, hello, descend flight level 200.
Probably took off just below minimum takeoff fuel, but I put extra fuel in anyway, so we're kind of ready for it.
2 descend flight level 150.
150, easy 9 to hit it.
Lufthansa 5 Mike Charlie. Let's go.
And we're listening intently for our ATC. I think we can get people out this. Oh no, 6,000, so we're not allowed to release people yet. I got a penalty for that last time.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope all is well with you and you enjoyed flying with us so far.
Everybody's pressing this basically.
Our cruising altitude of 39,000 feet, so I thought I'd give
Flight
you a
level
quick
210,
update.
Osprey 165.
We're making good progress towards our destination and expect to arrive on time as planned. You'll next hear from me just before we start our descent. I'll be sure to keep you updated if anything changes, but in the meantime, please feel free to relax and take advantage of our onboard facilities. Thanks very much.
That's 085, Ascot 2205.
Mushy Peas, yeah, this is SLC 1.6. It's managing all of the passengers in the back, basically, simulating that as best as they can. So now climb up to flight level 210.
122.8, Lima Golf. Cheers, good morning, bye-bye.
Lots of aircraft up and around us. Look at that. The skies of VATSIM are really busy today, as always. Beautiful weather over the top of the clouds.
Control, good afternoon, B-Betsy.
Standard pressure.
Hello, descend flight level 80, you're very high.
Yeah, the
flight level 80 by
passengers are pretty wet, to be honest, Mushy Peas. Overly sensitive, and they always seem desperate for the toilet before you've even departed, which is annoying. One of those things that, to be honest, I kind of wish that they sorted out. It's too much.
Descent level 160.
Logged. You're wings 2 Alpha Juliet, descend flight level 160.
Descending level 160, you're wings 2 Alpha Juliet.
Air Canada 865, route direct Elba.
Route direct Elba, Air Canada 865.
Air Canada 865, contact London Control 127.1, good morning.
121.1, goodbye.
127.1.
127.1. London, KNM 83 Foxtrot, over the YouTube, I don't know.
KNM 83 Foxtrot, hello.
Cabin pressure's good. Yeah, Phoenix version 2, folks, next week. Tranche 1, so they're going to do an update in 2 blocks. Block 1 is going to release next week at some point, which is really exciting. From there, we can expect further updates, Block 2 coming around September time, and then in December, they have said, really exciting news, they are going to be releasing an A321 and a Phoenix A319 as well. I'm so excited for the A321, it's going to be great, really good fun. So looking forward to trying those out. And I'm looking forward to finding that a lot of the bugs have been fixed. There's an EasyJet overhead. How good is that?
5 Mike Charlie, contact Birmingham radar 123.975, bye-bye.
Actually, it could have been an Austrian.
975, Lufthansa 5 Mike Charlie, thanks, bye-bye.
London Control, FedEx 1221, good afternoon.
FedEx 121, you're not into my airspace.
I think it's an EasyJet.
There's no ATC for Heathrow by the look of it, but there's power on, mate. Easy 13, turn left heading 310 degrees.
Left 310 degrees.
Amsterdam, Centre 12575.
London, good afternoon. It's 61 Romeo Papa.
Is who I think we'll be speaking to next.
Right, type A320, information on board. Can we get IFR2 split, please?
Easy 61 Romeo Papa, quick, clear to match, split match to Charlie 0310.
Clear to split match to Charlie 0310 in the box, Easy 61 Romeo Papa.
EVZ, oh, Easy 115.
75, Mike Charlie, contact Birmingham radar 123.975. Osprey 165, contact landing control 127.1.
1271 for Osprey 165, thanks.
Brookman's Park 6 Juliet departure.
1271.
Goodbye, thank you for your service. Eurowing 6 Mike Golf.
Flight control, good day, Osprey 165, 160 for flight level 210, heading 090 degrees.
Osprey 165, London control, hello, climb flight level 390.
Climb flight level 390, Osprey 165, hello.
Speedbird 86 Sierra, London control, hello, Logan 2 hotel, arrival, descent when ready, flight level 160, level by Sabre.
Still on vectors through the departure. 43 still waiting to depart Birmingham, wow, that's epic. Now I haven't turned the seatbelt sign off because we're heading towards that. So I think we can expect some turbulence.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. Just to keep you updated, unfortunately it looks as though we may be a little delayed in getting to our destination. Air traffic control have changed our route slightly.
27 Foxtrot, sent you to Unicom now, 122.8, descent at your discretion.
Hopefully we will be able to make some time up during our arrival. We'll certainly try our best. We'll keep you posted if anything changes, but in the meantime...
Air France 463, descent when ready, flight level 220, level by Hamel.
Thanks a lot.
Look at these clouds.
Confirm it 220 by which
Crikey.
Waypoint Hamel, Hotel Echo Mike Echo Lima.
220 by Hamel, Air France 463.
Shenx 300, 737, 800 at the ground, East Midlands, request ISI clearance to Heathrow.
Shenx 200, contact London Control 121.025.
We'll zip through this cloud first and see it punch through.
Shenx 200.
Good afternoon,
One of my favourite things when I was flying, it was really weird, but if I was sat in the jump seat at the back of a 777 or an A380 or whatever else, 747-400, I used to absolutely love being in the flight deck when this happened. So you'd go into the cloud, punch through, and then I'd stay there until I punched back out.
Easy 6 Bravo Tango, route direct Aptum, descend flight level 140, level by Aptum.
Name change thing in Discord, Night Shadow. I got no idea what you're on about. You mean the Discord username change thing that they did a few months ago? I've got no idea about that. Obviously no control over that either. That's a Discord thing. Don't really understand Discord that well, if I'm honest.
Air Canada 865, continue with Unicom 122.8.
Dylan, epic. Hello. How's your flight, buddy?
Air Canada 865, continue with Unicom 122.8.
Continue with Unicom 122.8, Air Canada 865.
Eurowings 3 Hotel X-ray, London Control, Hamel 1 Bravo arrival.
Sivda, 10 miles. That's going to be then the transition to Amsterdam radar. Hopefully at some point we'll get it direct to where we need to be going.
Speedbird 846 Whiskey, climb flight level 370.
Flight level 370.
Blue Max 6 Foxtrot November, turn left heading 250
degrees. Put wing anti-ice on.
Turn left 250 degrees, clear for IS close to the way to Blue Max 6 Foxtrot November.
Ryanair 9 Tango Yankee, report your passing altitude.
Ryanair 9 Tango Yankee, can you repeat that again?
Ryanair 9 Tango Yankee, report your altitude.
Ryanair 9 Tango Yankee, altitude 4,000 feet.
Ryanair 9 Tango Yankee, thanks. Just confirm which departure you're on.
Believe I'm on departure. You have stand by one eye look.
Okay, you're cleared on the Clacton departure, so I'll turn you right now. Turn right, direct Charlie Lima.
Somebody's done their own departure routing.
Ryanair Tango Yankee, turn right and use the departure. Clacton.
If you get cleared for a
Vision 165,
departure that is different to what you planned for on VATSIM, you always have to make sure that you change to whatever ATC have actually told you to use.
Osprey 165, resume own navigation direct to Somber.
Resume own navigation direct to Somber, Osprey 165. So that's the exit from UK airspace to the Netherlands, Dutch ATC, not Civda. We're going to go direct to execute own navigation. So we'll now go to LNAV mode, and we'll route now direct to Somber as instructed. 250, out of the cloud now finally. So we'll pop the seatbelt signs off.
Seabed 700 Whiskey, London Control, hello, climb flight level 210.
Flight level 210, Seabed 700 Whiskey.
London 506, identified traffic.
Let's see how the cabin is doing.
Space on track red, so climbing flight level 190.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, so you are now free to move around the cabin. However, for your safety, we do recommend that you remain seated with your belt fastened.
506, feedback correct, passing 5,500 radar control service, climb now flight level 190.
Looking okay.
Easy 6 Bravo Tango, continue with Unicorn 122.8.
Wow, it actually thinks we're going to be on time. And I'm going to land 15 minutes before I have to get ready. The latest time. So we're doing alright. The problem is we've got a bad flight experience overall. So we've got to get that back with hopefully a good service with the crew in the back. They're going to work their own sort of way of doing all of this. Everybody's queuing for the toilet already.
EV851, continue with Unicorn 122.8.
Unicorn 22.8, EV851, cheers.
How many of you watching have tried VATSIM, and how many of you watching maybe want to try VATSIM but don't feel confident? And if you are one of those, what would be the things that you would be looking to try and do to try and get confident with it? We've done lots of tutorial videos covering VATSIM to help people get started. Lots of people found them really, really useful, so it's worth checking out those playlists on the channel. And I'm always keen to try and help answer any questions and things that you might have to connect for the first time too. There goes the toilets.
Scandinavian 803 London Control, Roger, Logan 2 Hotel arrival, descend flight level 250.
Fuel, master caution, centre tanks confirmed, so that's left centre off.
Logan 2 Hotel arrival, Scandinavian 803.
Rimschool says, I do VATSIM, but I struggle to use the flyby wire A32NX because my route also bugs out. How do you mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve our drinks menu. Our menu is tea and coffee or a number of soft drinks. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position.
2 Max 6 Foxtrot November, runway 22, winds 120 degrees, 12 knots, clear to land.
Runway clear to land, Blue Max 6 Foxtrot November.
At Somber, we are supposed to have 7.4 tons on board, so we're pushing it.
G'day, Wisco, Chima Charlie, climbing 210 to 120.
707 Liner says, I'm hoping to get on tomorrow. I've gone through all of your tutorials and I'm confident with the A320, so looking forward to it. Go for it. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. David says VATSIM is overrated as a pilot. Night Shepherd says, yes, VATSIM is great. Always seem to have a PC crash that stuffs my day. That's not good. Taxiing on VATSIM is the hardest for Ashton Anders. That's where the charts come in really handy, because look for the hold points, and before you ask for taxi, try and prove where they might send you in your head. But also listen to where other people are being routed, because you're likely to get the similar routing to the same location, the same hold point perhaps, so always kind of listen to what's happening in front of you. It does require a lot of multitasking, as does aviation in real life. So even as I'm chatting to you guys, I'm listening in the background for ATC, waiting for our...
222, Roger, direct Elvos, contact.
Waiting for our call sign to appear. Bernie's 9 in the queue, runway 15, now they're doing a runway change. Oh.
Air France 463, contact London Control 121.025, goodbye.
121.025, Air France 463.
Ryanair 9 Tango Yankee, climb flight level 370.
The weather's horrendous at Birmingham at the moment, that's the problem. We took off with a complete crosswind.
Whiskey 2 Mike Charlie, climb
with
flight level
gusts.
350.
Up to 350, Whiskey 2 Mike Charlie.
Rhino 254.
That is stunning, isn't it? Look at that view.
150.
Climb flight level 150, Rhino 254.
What's my altitude again? Apologies.
There's the Meta in the live chat, folks, at Birmingham.
700 whiskey, route direct red.
Horrible, isn't it?
Just the red price, you're at 700 whiskey.
050 degrees.
Rhino 254, route direct Somber.
At 7 knots, 3,000 metres visibility in rain, overcast 400 feet above ground level, 12 degrees for the temperature and the dew point, so the spread is 0, therefore low visibility, and the QNH 1003.
Lufthansa 422, continue with Unicom 122.8.
122.8, Lufthansa 422, ciao.
And he says his headset is off to Queensland on Monday, so I'm not doing VATSIM for a while. Grandson can hardly wait for the courier to arrive next week, I bet. Is he getting into flight sim as well?
Ryanair 254, climb flight level 350.
McLaren 6's VATSIM isn't very well implemented in the Oceania regions. Formula Sport says, I struggle putting the flubber on A32NX, putting it back into nav mode after making it into heading mode. You just go back into manage mode by pressing up or down. But if not, if you've gone really far away from
165, contact Amsterdam radar 125.750, flight.
Amsterdam radar 125.750, Osprey 165, thanks, great job.
Yankee, Roger, you can expect vectors wireless Zulu runway 24.
Amsterdam.
76 Juliet.
So if you find them on here, there it is, you double click, it will tell you what their call sign is, Amsterdam radar. And if you've got CPDLC, it will show you the login code to EHAW. Amsterdam radar, good afternoon. Osprey 165's flight level 335 for 390 inbound Somber.
First EC24 Juliet Lima for traffic, turn left heading 070. Get 36 Charlie, stop your climb, flight level 340 is able.
Ooh, traffic avoidance going on somewhere near Amsterdam.
Osprey 165, hello, continue direct on deck.
In a few minutes we will be serving food.
Continue direct on deck for Osprey 165, hello.
In the overhead lockers, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Another direct 2, they're trying to get our time back, look, that's really cool. So the ATC are helping to try and get us back on schedule a little bit with a couple of direct 2s. It all just happens naturally.
Nothing further, I'm on the Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
Over to 122.8, Osprey 495, thank you very much, bye-bye.
Freebird 035, nothing further, Unicom 122.8. 122.8,
Retune that ready.
KLM 52 Oscar.
Make sure that is set. And we'll make sure our heading colour is at 10 degrees because we're high up now.
Oscar, runway 23, clear for takeoff. The wind at Groningen 150 degrees, 9 knots.
Clear for takeoff, runway 23, KLM 52 Oscar.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. Just to keep you updated, unfortunately,
just exploring some of these features that we didn't explore before, really, on self-loading cargo.
Charlie, climb now, flight level 370. Sorry for the inconvenience, and Unicom 122.8.
Time up during our arrival. We'll certainly try our
I'm
best.
just keeping an eye on this guy here on
Posted if
TCAS.
anything changes, but in the meantime, enjoy the remainder of the flight.
Can't quite see him, but he's roughly the same altitude as us, 40 miles in that direction. Can't see contrails. What we can see in the distance, though, is really high level cloud stretching across the horizon, so that's pretty gnarly weather, potentially.
6 Mike Golf.
Ah, reminds me. Should turn that off.
At flight level 170, report ready for descent.
Expecting Tabro level 170 and
how are we doing in Riga? Let's find the
request for descent.
Meta for that in the live chat. See how she's doing. Ashley says we should pick up some street waffle on the way over. Looking forward to flying Tampa to Amsterdam. Apparently it's kind of in the closing stages of testing, which is nice. Oh good, that looks fun. Winds 180 at 4 knots, variable between 140 degrees and 240 degrees, all the 9s. Dew cloud 3,700, 22 degrees for the temperature, the dew point 14 and the QNH 1014. Much nicer than what we had out of Birmingham. I do love a bit of challenging weather though. Homeschool says you need to select an appropriate approach transition via the FMS. Will not handle a course reversal at the final approach fix well without it, in real life and in the sim. Yeah, that means that when you're selecting an arrival, you have to use charts effectively, because if you don't understand what the chart's telling you to do, like this here, telling you that you're flying in, say for example, via Gunter, like we're going to be doing today, up to Axe Edge, then you need to make sure you set the correct via. So you're either going to have a via Eknes, or you're going to have a via Tuk, or Gudin, or overflying the Riga VOR. Interesting.
Amsterdam Riga, good day. Tweeted 100 kilo on
We're going to go via Axe Edge to Aknes straight onto final. If we set any other transitions, then it's going to get bugged out, because it's going to try and get us to fly over those because we've set them in effect. But yeah, you've got to read the charts. The charts give you all the information that you need, but you do have to kind of spend the time deciphering what it all means.
4240, okay, land 1421.
2 to go.
240 Lima, welcome back.
How they're doing in the back. Everybody's getting drinks, happy days.
Brazavia 476 Juliet,
In fact, the drink service is there, looks right at the back now, last 5 rows for that, and they'll take all the carts back to the galley in the meal service. Let's see what they're thinking. I really need the toilet, but none are available. 10 seconds ago. That's your fault for not knowing how to hold in your own wee. Slightly negative overall experience though, so we are getting it back slightly. We're fighting the negative experience. Grant says that was a very cool departure out of Birmingham on my way. Good stuff. Josh says, when is the Flyboy A380 coming? Probably some point end of 2024, if I'm honest. North Sea below with the Aerosoft North Sea pack. Beautiful added bit of realism with some ships and oil rigs and things like that around below us. Just giving us a little bit to look at, nestled away. It's really nice to have a little bit of life around us below. Rab, wow, you're Denmark already, wow. Doing very good job. Approach online, Lazarus says, for now, Riga.
80 reaching now, flight level 340 inbound Debeer.
Condor 2080, hello, squawk 2774.
2774 for Condor 2080.
He's less than 40.
Ryanair 5,
2,000 below.
London 127.1.
Might work to do a little bit of rectification of fuel balance here. That's quite an imbalance. 700 kilograms is the maximum. So we'll be proactive with this. We're going to go crossfeed on, valve open, light extinguishers, so we confirm which ones we want to turn off. So it's going to be tanks 1 aft and forward, that's the lightest. So, aft 1 off, we get a master caution low pressure light up there. First, engine's still good, forward 1 off, master caution for fuel, because we've shut off an entire half of the tanks. And the engines are still good and stable. we don't do it carefully, we can actually turn the crossfeed on and turn off the lighter of the two. But if we don't turn crossfeed off, we turn those off. But if we don't turn crossfeed on and wait for that to open, there, and then we turn this off, we can kill one of the engines, which is what we don't want. I'm just going to wait now for the tanks 2 forward and aft, currently showing 3.62 tons, to equalise near to 535. We're not using any fuel out of tank 1 forward or aft at the moment. And Coffin Corner, that's close, isn't it? 390, Bruce.
After RTIP, Sierra Papa Yankee, KLM 52 Oscar.
It's busy today, isn't it? It's great. The Midsummer Madness event at Birmingham that we took off from is taking place for the next few hours today. And tomorrow, same times, 10Z to 1600Z, full ATC. Lots of prizes to be won.
1079er, nothing further, Monty Unicom, 1.2.8.
Including for whoever flies the furthest as well. And stays connected the whole time. Probably why there were so many Dreamliners at Birmingham, because they were all trying to fly as far as possible. Somebody last time did Auckland. They've obviously used infinite fuel, which is a little bit pants.
Section 305 Alpha, runway 21, clear to land, the wind at Eindhoven 190 degrees 7 knots.
Runway 21, clear to land, section 305 Alpha.
Europa 291, nothing further, Monty Unicom, 1.2.8.
Thank you, by Europa 291.
Easy 24,
a little bit of a tailwind as well, helping us get to Andik. At Andik then, we can do another fuel check. Let's just bring this up here so you can see what I'm on about. We're using the briefing preview of our OFP. I'm looking for Ondik, which is here. And it says we need to have about 6.9 tons of fuel on board. So I'm getting sidetracked again because it is time to stop the fuel imbalance. Pretty much now.
Happy with an 8-mile lineup with the weather? Yep.
3.54, that's good enough. They can go back on, low pressure lights go off. With that in mind, check the engines, they're okay, and crossfeed valve close. Light goes on, light goes off. Crossfeed is closed. And look at that, just in time, bingo. 6.9 tons wasn't it on Dick, so we might be a little bit below that. That's fine if we're just shy.
Timber Charlie, climbing to 350 and a 330.
Wisco 2 Mike Charlie, Roger, continue.
Continue, Timber Charlie.
Ryder 254, stop your climb, flight level 330 due to traffic above.
Stop climb at 330, right.
Event is on until 2100 Zulu, there you go. So full ATC all day. From 10Z to 2100Z, same tomorrow. So they are busy. The ATC are going to be maxed out. You can fly little hops, big hops. Carlito, by contrast, hello buddy, he's flying in a different event, and it's Cross Africa, which is another massive VATSIM event, which is taking place today. It's a bit of a shame they clashed, to be totally honest with you, because they would both be nice to take part in. So we've got Midsummer Madness VATSIM UK, and then down here, this big Cross Africa event. My goodness, look at that. That's jeez, that's insane. Hundreds of aircraft. Wow, that's impressive.
Mike, when ready, descent flight level 70.
Descent 70 when ready,
Carlito's in there somewhere.
KLM 1421, contact London control, 127.1.
London control 127.1.
There it is, Osprey 515, legend. In the 787. He's crossing the Sahara, look at that. So this is another massive VATSIM event happening today, which we would have taken part in, but we'd already committed to Midsummer Madness, which is a shame. Hopefully next year the two events are a little bit more separate. and they don't clash. But yeah, Osprey is represented in this thanks to Carlito. That's another event that you could take part in.
Hello.
Sorry to bother you, Captain. I was just wondering if you'd like a drink.
Not at the moment.
Messenger 506, safe and descent for level 45.
Give me a call if you change
Good job.
your mind.
That's another big event taking place. In fact, there's full ATC look from Italy, Euro West, Turkey, all the way down to Entebbe. That's incredible. We're heading up here though. We've got a little stint. Sweden. And then yeah, Riga approach online up there.
Nothing further, Unicom 12.8.
Unicom, good day, bye.
Sartu's airborne, Clipper, good morning.
Speedbird 846 whiskey, nothing further, monitor Unicom 12.8.
Oscar, it is self-loading cargo, selfloadingcargo.com. Andrew's asking, when you say Zulu time, is this referred to local time of the location or GMT UK time? So actually, you've got them all a little bit confused there. Good question. Other people.
Nothing further, monitor Unicom 12.8. Bye-bye.
Unicom 1228, Osprey 165. Thanks, have a good day.
Condor 2.
Yeah, good question. And others might be asking the same thing or wondering the same thing. So what is Zulu time? You guys might know the answer as well in the chat. Zulu time is the standard time that is followed by aviation worldwide. So an aircraft departing at 1200 Zulu in Birmingham will also be departing at 1200 Zulu in Shanghai. But the local times, for example, are entirely different. Currently in the UK, we're in UK summertime, British summertime, or BST, and that is 1 hour ahead of GMT. And GMT is basically Zulu. So 1200 Zulu today on the 5th of August 2023. The UK time is 1 hour ahead for British summertime. So 1200 Zulu becomes 1300 British summertime or 1300 local time. By contrast, if 1200 Zulu was in the winter, when we wind our clocks back in the UK, that would then match our local time. So 1200 Zulu in the winter in December in the UK would also be 1200 local time, if that makes sense. But by contrast, if you look at Zulu time, 1200, and then you consider maybe a time zone 6 hours ahead, that aircraft will still fly to Zulu time 6 hours ahead, even though their local time would actually be 1800 Zulu. And that's where you have to understand the difference between local time and Zulu time. So all of the aeroplanes around the world will be flying to Z. And that prevents an aircraft taking off and flying and using local time in Turkey, when actually they're flying over the UK with aircraft in the UK flying to UK times, meaning that all of the times get confused and you could very quickly have an aircraft clashing with another in the same bit of airspace at the same time, but they both think that they're in different time zones. So Zulu standardizes that, and everybody, no matter where they are in the world, whether it be New Zealand, Australia, Thailand, South Africa, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, America, UK, all fly to Zulu time, even though their local times will be wildly different to it. So hopefully that helps explain that a little bit. The UK gets a little bit confusing with local time and Zulu, because in the winter our local time is the same, but in the summer we move our clocks forward an hour for summer, so we become Zulu +1 or UTC +1 or GMT +1. Zulu is the same as UTC and it's the same as GMT. Does that help answer? I hope it does. Gary, hello buddy, really good, thank you very much. We're en route now, thankfully. We had a 1 hour delay almost at Birmingham. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Melvin said he flew the 787-8 from Palma to Amsterdam, very nice. We're going to get hit on New Sky, by the way. When we do land, we're going to get hit with a big old penalty for the delay, I think. Wind shear detected on takeoff, actually, I think there. Or just after takeoff. Where's the takeoff? There it is, takeoff 1312. Lots of position updates. Where's our off blocks time? 12:45. Okay, so only 20 minutes delayed technically. We won't be having a massive delay. We'll have a little bit of a financial penalty for the delayed departure. But these things happen in real life, so it doesn't really matter. Jack says, I heard before handing off that Birmingham are doing a runway change, sod managing that. Yeah, but runway changes are tough. They have to sequence aircraft to like a 5 or 10 minute gap around the airport. Then they decide the final arrival on 15. And then they begin to vector everybody else to runway 33 at Birmingham. What they then have to do is utilise holds. So they'll put aircraft into holds and they'll begin to sequence them all ready. Eventually there's enough of a gap in the sequence to make sure the last arrival on 15 has a nice clear gap in case of A, a missed approach, B, an issue on the runway, or perhaps he's slow to vacate. Once he's touched down, they can then release aircraft to runway 33 and have them fly in on the changed runway. Whimsical Aviation, good work. Tried the fix for his problem that we described and helped with, and it worked. Good to hear. And yeah, well, hopefully I didn't get a wing strike. There's every chance, because we got absolutely smashed on takeoff with a bit of crosswind there. We're actually going to be crossing at Ungab into Swedish airspace for a little while, just south of Copenhagen. We mentioned about doing a at Ondik, didn't we? We just passed 6.7 tons. Oh, we're 2 tons below our fuel. We'll have to do another fuel check at Ungab. 312 nautical miles. That's where we need to have about 5.3 on board. Gary, no, not at all. We've booted a few pilots because we've had a couple of pilots on Osprey who have just crashed and crashed and crashed. So we've got rid of those because they aren't taking it seriously or even trying to do it properly. I think one recorded 3 crashes in a day. All 3 flights crashed every time. And it actually flagged up as potentially intentional, so it probably was. Hopefully the 35 knot tailwind is going to help us be a little bit efficient on the fuel. And this is why when you're flying on events in VATSIM as well, you need to make sure you take a whole lot of extra fuel as well, because it's one of those things where you're going to use more than the 200 kilograms that it kind of estimates routinely for your taxi fuel. You're going to use nearer to 500-600 kilograms of fuel instead waiting. So that's where you've got to be a little bit careful not sitting there with the APU on for too long. It's a bit difficult though, as we found. We thought the delays were only 10 minutes, but in fact they were 20 or 30 minutes, so they couldn't give us an estimate time for it. So we had to have the APU on ready with the ground power disconnected and the tug attached, so that when we were handed over to ground, we were ready for pushback immediately, which kind of squished us a little bit. Yeah, Gary, no worries at all. That's where New Sky's really good, because it gives you the flight report at the end to kind of help decipher where you've gone wrong. I'm going to have a little look at 410 for a step, which is the maximum, isn't it, for this? Just to see if the aircraft thinks that we could save fuel. No, we can't, so that doesn't matter. We will sack off that idea. We can look at descent forecast winds as well, so we'll load that in, we'll do that whilst we're en route. Loggy says, what do you do now when there is not any ATC? You just remain on your Unicom until you come across a controller that's online in your area that asks you to contact them. Then they will provide you ATC, or on Unicom you just sort yourself out and fly as necessary, basically. It's asking for the transition level at Riga. In fact, we don't need the charts because we have ATC on at Riga. So let me use Parallel 42 Flow Pro. Evra. There we go. ILS Yankee runway in use 18. Transition level 60. Perfect. That matches what we've already got. And the QNH 1014. So I'll pop that in there. We might just check it before we get closer to make sure there's no other changes required. But interestingly, it says 18 Yankee. We're expecting 18 Zulu based on real world arrivals. So if I flick this to the Yankee approach instead, ILS Yankee 18, we keep the star, Gunter, 2 Romeo arrival. We're going to fly in via Gunter, all the way around, fly downwind to Aksedge, and then we're going to head over the water vectors by ATC to Aknes, and then that final approach. Bekri. So potentially there is a, from Aksedge we could go to Bekri, which means we could just go transition, ILS Yankee 18, Bekri. We can have a look to see what that looks like. There we go, look, that looks neater. So we might actually put that in as a transition here. Boom. Yeah, just said it's Parallel 42 Flow Pro. So that's what our arrival is going to pretty much look like. Missed approach is easy at Riga. It's climb on runway track, which is 175 degrees to 2,500 feet. After 1,500 feet, radar vectors will be provided, which is nice and easy. So basically we're going to just fly runway heading, climb above 1,500 for 2,500, from 1,500 feet, still just flying in a straight line. We will be vectored by ATC, probably a left turn back downwind towards Bekri to try again, but we could get a right turn to fly a right downwind to Lisvi and back. Depends what they want really, down to the ATC to choose. We've got the ILS DME treble 1.1 to tune in and the inbound course of 175. So we need to put those into the nav 1 and nav 2, and we can pop in the Riga VOR 114.0 as well. Airport elevation is nearest is 50 feet, so we're going to tune that. And the minimums at the bottom of the charts, 233. In fact, Cat 2 ILS is slightly different. It's 111 on the radar, so I'm going to pop that in here. I'm going to flick that across to radio. (111). Up here we can flick the box to 50 for the landing elevation, and then down the bottom here we can think of the ILSs. So it's 111.1, wasn't it? 1111. We'll pop it up, and then we can put 1140, which is the Riga VOR. 1111. Or 1140. Up in nav 1 and 2 we can set the courses to 175 for the approach. And we're doing this quite early, but it just means that we're just staying ahead of the aeroplane. We can think about VAS Airplane Toolbox, which I think I've still got on another tab somewhere. Yes, there we go. So we can flick to the landing tab, we can look at the METAR. Currently runway 18 has a headwind of 5 knots. We click that. I'm going to click full 3,200. I'm just going to change it. I'm going to drop through 200 meters off it to kind of account for the flare. And then it feeds in the rest of the data. There's no suggestion of any rain, so we're going to leave it set to dry. Both reversers, landing weight of 60.2, and we'll just calculate, see what it gives us. And it recommends flap 30 and any auto brake actually, 1, 2, 3 or max. If we go to reverse idle, Auto brake 1's not suitable anymore. We recalculate that. And actually auto brake 2 would be the option, so we could still use the same. So I'm going to go auto brake 2, and we'll use both reversers because I want to. That'll work. And we'll just review it nearer the time as we get a bit closer. Lovely views of the in fact, we're near Heligoland. Can't remember what they're called now. This kind of little body of islands that we're flying over, right north of Amsterdam and the Netherlands. Heligoland is there. Got my bearings correct. Tiny little island there. It could be that one actually. Just under the cloud. Aircraft just above, going the opposite direction. There he goes. Wadden Island, Peters, thank you very much. There we go. Salvatore, you've already got the specs, buddy. They are in the chat. Don't spam it, you will get banned. So en route, we're not really expecting any significant crazy weather. Should be quite a nice little cruise for an hour or so before we then think about the rest of the descent. What time were we estimated to land actually? This is a good idea actually. We can see if we've got the time back, because we've got a tailwind most of the way. So we go to progress. It reckons we're going to be at Evra at 1422Z. Yeah, so about 25 minutes late. Can't really get the time back all that well either. We'll go to Mach 80. We don't. I mean, that does mean that we're going to burn more fuel though. That's the only thing. More speed, more drag. So that's done. That's set. Arrivals. ILS Yankee 18 via Beckery, Gunt 2 Romeo. Execute. We can pop that in. We don't have many waypoints left, that's why. Enable 280 at Gunter. It's max 280, so we're going to just change that to 280B. That's just telling the aeroplane it doesn't matter if we are doing 250 knots, 260 knots, 270 knots, it's whatever is required. But as long as we don't exceed 280 knots, we've met the constraint. So we change that from at 280 to 280 at or below, a maximum speed of 280, as it is in the charts, like so. There's a few others, look, Vosdi and Evra 626. Max 220 knots there. You can see the aeroplane wants to be at 273 knots. That's fine. Positive at 230. Romeo Alpha 626 at 220, which we then maintain to axe edge. Max 210 at 3,500, and then a discontinuity, which we can delete. So we can just drop that, and then we'll then connect axe edge to Beckery. There, 3,500, max of 230. So I'm going to change that because otherwise the aeroplane's going to want to actually accelerate from 210 to 230, which we don't want. So we're going to go in and clean it up. 230 below. Acnes at 210 max. Again, maximum. And then turning final. In fact, we want to do 2,500 precisely there as well. So I'm just going to change some of this up a little bit. So turning in 175, final approach, and that's the profile that we can expect. So Acnes max 210 at 2,500. A little step down to 2,000 to intercept the glide slope from 6 miles to be established and descending. 3-degree glide slope down to the runway. Cat C, missed approach, rad out set to 111 feet for Cat 2 ILS. The RVRs, the minimums here, 300 meters. Argus, hello buddy. I've just finished working through your ATR tutorial series, which was incredibly helpful, good to hear. Just wondering how much of a steep learning curve is the ATR to the 737? Not a massive learning curve, to be honest, because the ATR is a bit hands-on as well, so it's all fine. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. Just again, dive into my 737 tutorials. That will have you sorted quite nicely, hopefully. We've got to think about where we're going to vacate. So we're going to look at not only the arrival of runway 18, but we're going to look at the layout of the airport as well. This is a very confusing chart. So not every airport around the world has friendly charts. Some of them are pretty packed full of information, a lot of it not necessary. Actually they get convoluted and get in the way of the rest of what you're looking for. This is one of those. So runway 18, way too much information here. We might vacate at Yankee. There's a high-speed exit there, look, which we can just see through all of this gump. Yankee, vacate there, onto Charlie, and then we get taxi to the terminal. Carfergan, welcome on board. Failing that, we might be able to come off at Bravo instead. And if not, we'll go all the way to the end at Alpha to vacate and taxi up Foxtrot to the terminal. But 3,200 meters of runway. I reckon we'll touch down around Echo. We might miss Yankee, but if not, we can come off at Bravo instead. But with this in mind, we need to have a look at the parking charts because this will clean it up massively. There we go, look at that. There's a second chart just for, there's Bravo just there, look, coming off Bravo onto Foxtrot just for all of the stands. And that's going to help us if we flick from approach to ground to the stands when we get one allocated. We will know then roughly what we can expect. Yeah, Jack, that's why I've not said Charlie. You're only going to use Yankee. You can come off at Charlie, but you're going to have to bleed the speed right off to 20 knots. But at Bravo, if you zoom right in, you can see there's a bit more of a curve. It's not a high-speed exit, but it means you can just take a bit more speed into the bend and then bring the speed right off, then turn off onto Bravo, if that makes sense. It's very difficult to see with these charts because there is way too much information packed in on it. They are not pilot-friendly at all. So you have to dig for the information you need. Yeah, that 90-degree turn for Charlie's not particularly friendly. Yankee is though, it's a high-speed exit, and then Bravo's got a little bit of a curve to it. It's still pretty much a 90-degree. It doesn't show it in this chart, but you get the point. Oh, there's the crew.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Sorry to bother you. Would you like something to eat?
Oh, snacky
Yes,
snacks.
I'd love something to eat.
No problem. I'll get it for you now.
Somebody asked, let me catch up in the live chat. Gary, is it always best to put your approach in the FMS during the cruise phase? It depends on the length of your flight. So you can plan for an arrival at an airport, but by the time you get there 4 hours later, you might find that actually the runway that you've planned for is really not suitable. So you could end up having to change your plans. So what I always do is I just leave it at the transition into the star that we're planning for, and then as I get a bit closer and I'm confident that the runway won't necessarily change, then I will then commit an arrival into it. So I left it at Gunter, took off, we got to pretty much to cruise, and then because of the weather forecast and everything else, and the current weather, and the ATIS, we've committed into what we had originally planned anyway. So in the live chat, it's always worth looking at a TAF, the Terminal Aerodrome Forecast. It is your forecast through the day for the airport that you're flying out of, but also into. So the TAF at Evra, Riga, where we're flying today, it's loads of information, but it shows you what is expected from the winds, the visibility and the cloud throughout the day. Between 1700 today, Zulu, and 0400 this evening, the visibility is going to crash down to 2,500 meters in thunderstorms and rain with 500-foot cloud base, cumulonimbus at 1,500, really nasty. Yeah, mist, fog, all that coming in through the evening as well. We are flying in.
Hello.
Hi, Captain.
We should expect 180 at 5, but we can guarantee with thunderstorms coming in that we might get a bit of a decrease in visibility. Thank you to everyone who's hit the like button so far. Polski, we are flying our very own Osprey Airways in our special holiday livery. Lazarus says charts, arrivals, continue 2 and 3 are also helpful yet. So that's a good point actually, we'll have a look at those in a moment. Navigraph doesn't always pin the charts that you need. Ah, it's great, isn't it, Free? So nice. And it even comes with its very own custom cabin, complete with magazines and a really nice high quality textured seat setup as well. Look at that. We do leather here at Osprey. Andrew, yeah, we're hoping to. Well, actually, the Dreamliner, the 787-8, I've got a slightly different idea, but it's taking a long time to paint. But yeah, I won't say any more. You'll have to wait for the big reveal. It's going to be epic. If it works how it's kind of designed, how we've discussed it, then it's going to be quite spectacular. Let's look at those charts that Lazarus was on about. We were talking about how it doesn't always pin the charts that we want. So we've selected the arrival, runway 18, the Gunter 2 Romeo arrival, ILS Yankee 18 via Beckery. So it's automatically pinned, the Gunter 2 Romeo, the 2 different ILS options, so Cat 1 and Cat 2. And then it's given us the airport ground charts, and then we've just manually pinned the parking stand charts as well. But if we then press into the Navigraph charts, we go to the approach phase, we scroll to oh, we don't have them on this. Let me see. No, we don't have them on this. Lazarus. Sometimes, basically, you'll be flying into an airport and you'll see Heathrow's one of them. You'll find the star, so say Logan 2 Hotel arrival via Lambourne, or the Honolly 1 Hotel via Bovingdon. And then before you get to the approach page, you might have the ILS, but actually further down on the star charts, you might find initial approach from Bovingdon, initial approach via Lambourne, or whatever else, and it will then be an additional chart that you want to pin, manually pin on Navigraph to help you. So let me dig that out and actually show you what I'm on about. So we go to Heathrow charts here. We use what I've just discussed actually. So the one at Honolly 1 hotel arrival for Heathrow brings you in over Birmingham to Soppit and then Bovingdon. If you scroll down on the charts though, you can see at the very bottom of the list here, initial approach from Biggin Hill, initial approach from Bovingdon, initial approach from Lambourne, initial approach from Ockham. So, depending on what you're flying, in this case the Honolly 1 hotel, which routes via Bovingdon into Heathrow, you would then scroll down and you would need to manually pin the initial approach charts from Bovingdon, because it then gives you this. It shows you what to expect from Bovingdon to get to the ILS before you then need the ILS charts. If that makes sense. Hopefully that's described that well, but obviously we don't have that issue at Evra, so we don't need to worry about that. We've got this bit though, the actual taxi airport briefing charts, which I think Lazarus is on about, which is very different. 2 and 3. Let's have a read of these. So arrival continue 2, runway operations, preferential runway in use is 1836 between midnight and 6 PM local time. After 6 PM local time, landing is available on runway 36, even with a tailwind. They're going to use 36 in the evening potentially. Maybe not tonight though, with the massive thunderstorms in the area and the low visibility. High intensity runway operations. In order to avoid go-arounds, aircraft should vacate the runway quickly and entirely without prejudice to safety. Little caveat there to save them from getting sued by an airline if something goes wrong and the pilots blame them, saying that they were trying to get off quickly because of what they read on the charts. You've got to still maintain safety first and foremost. As a rule, aircraft should expect to vacate the runway via the following turn-offs listed below. So, medium jet, which is what we are, runway 18, turn-off intersection is Yankee. So we were talking about that high-speed exit earlier on. That's the one that we need to plan for. If unable to vacate the runway as prescribed here, so we are expected to vacate at Yankee at Riga, then we need to tell the controller immediately. Phraseology as well. Reduced runway separation minimums shall be applied between succeeding and preceding landing aircraft during the hours of daylight from 30 minutes after local sunrise to 30 minutes before local sunset, i.e. the period between night time. RRSM shall not apply between aircraft departing and the preceding landing aircraft. Reduced runway separation minimum shall be subject to the following conditions: weight turbulence separation minima, visibility of at least 5 km, ceiling not lower than 1,000 feet above ground level, tailwind component not exceeding 5 knots, and the Riga Tower controller appropriately marked on the ASM GCS display for determination of preceding and succeeding aircraft position. Traffic information shall be provided to the flight crew of the succeeding aircraft concerned. So an example of phraseology that we might expect from Riga approach is: Osprey 165 preceding Boeing 737 is vacating the runway, surface wind 180 at 5 knots, runway 18 clear to land. Runway conditions shall not be worse than wet, and braking action shall not be worse than good. Braking action shall not be adversely affected by runway contaminants, for example ice, slush, snow, frost and water. Depending on the taxi procedures, whatever stand we're going to be assigned here on the next page, gives us a particular taxi in. So, standard taxi procedures for arrivals. If we're, for example, given stand 308, we can expect taxi by Yankee Charlie, Foxtrot and Victor, as per the charts there. So we can look really far ahead, and we can preempt in cruise, even 2 hours before we land, our taxi route to the stand that we might be expecting, if we're expecting one in particular. Now, how do you kind of work that out? Well, we're looking at the different aprons here, apron 1, 2 and 3. We've got the terminal area with the jetties there as well. Hopefully we get one with the jetties. In which case, terminal, I don't know, we can look at 303s, 300, 301, 302, 304, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or even 102 through to 109. So 102 to 109 is the top of the charts, Yankee Charlie Foxtrot Tango. 103 is the opposite side of that pier, so in that case it'd be Yankee Charlie Foxtrot Sierra. So Tango goes to 102, or evens, 102, 104, 106, 108. 101, 103, 105, 107, 109 for the stands uses Sierra instead, if that makes sense. If we were taxiing to stand 303, we're going to be given uniform. If it was 306, however, it would be Victor. So on and so forth. So that could be really useful. We'll pin that as an extra chart as well. It's always worth, when you've got a lot of time in the cruise, to just load up the charts and read through all of the arrival information, because it's going to give you a really good expectation of a really good understanding of what to expect when we get closer to the airport, basically. And then you can plan your performance accordingly. That turn-off intersection of Yankee that we have to achieve. So distance from the threshold there is 5,315 feet, or 1,620 meters. Now we know auto brake 2 is going to give us a stop margin of 863 meters, right? So maybe auto brake 2 isn't suitable anymore. And actually, VAS Airplane Toolbox, kind of double screen here, VAS Airplane Toolbox is showing us that our landing run is going to be 2,137 meters. With the charts that we looked at a moment ago when we were just speaking about the runway length required, 1,620. So it's going to be about auto brake 3. Which is quite strong, really. So that's what we're going to set. And that's giving us about 1,700 meters for stop margin. So we'll use auto brake 3, reverse thrust, and then as we start to decelerate and we get close to Yankee, we'll be able to go to manual brakes, ease off on the brake pressure, smooth it out for the passengers, and then vacate at Yankee. Providing our touchdown is accurate on the touchdown zone, of course. Ungav in 60. 5.3 tons of fuel is what we need. We're 5.6 at the moment, so we might have actually been able to just get that back. But we haven't been able to get the time back. It's the only thing. But that doesn't matter. It is what it is. No ATC. For us yet. In fact, no, ESOS Centre is we're kind of in his airspace from Ungav. I don't know if they'll want to service us though, but we can ask the question. ESOS Centre 1184, because we are technically going into a little bit of his airspace. In fact, because we're in Europe, we can use VAT glasses to have a look. So this is a really good resource for Europe flying. Let's see. No, not that one. My goodness. Where is it? It's this one. We go to VAT glasses. Oh wow. VAT glasses just crashed my Google Chrome. Hopefully that didn't crash the stream briefly. Really weird if it did. Right, so where are we? We're flying through Swedish airspace. We're Osprey 165 Alpha with 390. Yeah, no, so yeah, we're not even in his airspace. Looking at back glasses, it actually shows you the sector a little bit more accurately. Therefore, we know we don't need it. We'll close that down, and we'll just stay on Unicom. Weird back glasses. Then just changing to back glasses, it just killed off my Chrome. Very weird. Not had that before, ever. Good stuff. Rab says you guys are in for a treat at Riga. It's really nice scenery apparently. Stunning view of the city as well. Good to hear. Depends on your settings, Leo, for how to do a screenshot. I use the Xbox game bar thing, so I press and hold. I press Windows key and G, and it opens up a screenshot overlay thing, and I press a camera button and it saves it to my video captures folder on my PC. How are we doing on SLC? Need to go to the toilet, but there doesn't seem to be any. Why do they all need the toilet so badly? It's bizarre. It's actually ridiculous. He's having a bad flight. Slightly negative flight for him. Yeah, all around a slightly negative flight. Bad flight for some of them. We can't do anything about that though, because a lot of it's time related. Is that the one from yesterday, Lazaros? About Phoenix version 2? So they put this out yesterday, 5th of August. Basically talking about the version 2 rollout process. Finally, my goodness, because Phoenix version 1 for me is an absolute. I can't say what I want to say. A crap show, a poo show. Pretty much. It's not a pleasant experience half the time for me, Phoenix at the moment. But yeah, version 2 is what I've been desperate for. So over the coming days, they're going to start pushing staging builds into the system to start getting version 2 of Phoenix A320 out to us all, which is great. With that, there's a bit of a précis for this. They're going to release it in a number of blocks. So block 1's coming first, next week in fact. That's how soon this is coming. You're going to get version 2 of Fly-by-Wire, the FMS version 2, and the first of our new, the Phoenix's new displays as well. So the ISIS, the standby instrument, the smaller displays as well will come later in addition to the ISIS. All our code-sided performance optimizations, including the new display render tech, is coming in version 2 block 1. And some of the non-dependent avionic improvements as well, like their new VNAV and lots of bug fixes. Hallelujah! Full changelog will be with you when they roll that out. From then, they're going to begin the second phase of delivering version 2, block 2, which is going to conclude by the end of September this year. That's going to have the new visual models, IAEs, external engine models, further avionic fixes, EFB version 2, and any other improvements and revisions they need from block 1 releasing. Very exciting. Back glasses is incorrect. Sweden needs us to contact him. Sweden Control, hello, Osprey 165, flight level 390, passing Ungav.
Osprey 165, Sweden Control, hello, identified.
Hey, we're on track for fuel performance, folks. 5.3 tons. Happy days. Where are we at? Also, the biggest bit of news, this is what I'm most excited for with Phoenix. It's actually got me really hyped for Phoenix simulations once again. Really remarkable. The A321 and the Phoenix A321 and the Phoenix A319 are coming in December, planned as a single expansion package for £39.99, about $50 US. And with that, the A320 with sharklets are going to be updated for free. Really exciting 6 months ahead. And yeah, as you guys are saying, there is, by the looks of it, a new post about performance and some other little bits that have just gone live now. So, let's have a little look at this for the first time. This is fresh, hot off the press. Performance news, the first update would change the cabin layout to 180, thank goodness, because the cabin layout's always been a bit weird. And that's been an issue with New Sky as well. So, as promised, I'm going to read this verbatim for you guys, in case you can't read it, depending on your Wi-Fi speeds and the quality of the stream that you guys are outputting. If you're on 2K 60 frames per second though, this is fine, but yeah, hot off the press from Phoenix. As promised, I've got some data for you all on how the new version 2 Block 1 software is performance. I'll immediately and upfront say that this data will vary system by system and that these are meant to illustrate what we've managed to do across a range of configurations, but your end result may be slightly different. Because Phoenix, as a side note, has been a very mixed bag with performance. It's been pretty poor on performance actually for most people, hasn't it, in comparison to some of these other payware add-on aircraft like PMDG 737. But I digress. Regardless, the post continues. The team have put in a little over 1,000 hours across various departments in order to attempt rectifying our frankly poor performance on customer PCs. They said themselves, we weren't happy with the laggy experience you were having, but sadly there have been no quick fixes. So in order to do this, Phoenix have committed to a total rebuild of our render display pipeline, along with auditing the V1 model and systems code in order to squeeze out every last drop of frames per second and VRAM efficiently as possibly as we could. They're quite pleased with the end result, and they've got some benchmark figures below from their beta team across various hardware configurations to provide a clear picture for us as possible, with the system specs listed in the charts along with resolution and any payware airports used. And their rolling tests meant to indicate what you would see when on a takeoff roll. So Builds Heathrow with an Intel i7-8700K, an AMD RX 6800 graphics card at 1080p on DirectX 11. Average frames per second 29.
Osprey 495 shortly met.
The Phoenix A320 V2 Block 1, and that's in comparison to 22.3 frames on the Phoenix A320 current build. Comparing that against then the PMDG Boeing 737-800, they say 27.3, so a better performance, they say, from the current performance of the PMDG 737, which is a huge jump if that's the case. Interesting though, because that's a very specific system and airport payware for a comparison. I'm always dubious of these comparisons of things. Pyre EGNX. Clear skies, more similar to my build here, folks. But again, they're running it on 1080, not 4K. What on earth? It is what it is. But with an RTX4090 and Intel i9-13900K, DirectX 12 on 1080p, Phoenix A320 85.5 frames per second, compared to near 80 for the PMDG 738, and that is based on a previous performance on the Phoenix current build, 75.1. Anyway, I always take all of these with a massive pinch of salt, because if you've got an RTX 4090, that should be on a 4K screen. For them to render that in 1080p is just BS. So that can just get thrown in the bin, in my opinion. That's a bit better. 3080 Ti, DirectX 11 and 2K, AMD 5900X. Phoenix A320 Block 1, 43.5 frames per second, that's nearly matching PMDG 737-800, look, for performance, that's really good. Really good. But note, some people were getting different hits of performance, look. Big improvement in performance there.
Frequency change approved to land at ground 1.9.
Anyway, we'll ditch that because it's very speculative, very specific to everybody's system. the benchmark tests. I think the only one that's actually close to realistic as a generic or broad experience maybe for people is that Anybuild's NFFM one there. But who knows? DirectX 11, DirectX 11.
Renault 31 Alpha request descent.
Renault 31 Alpha descend to flight level 100 for runway 17.
For the 100.
Anybuild's Nardi. AMD 5900X, RTX 3080 Ti, 2560 1440p DirectX 11 is the exact same spec and settings as this, but totally different results. Right, I'm not even going to take any of these into account then, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we'll continue. All in a worthwhile return on the investment we made to bring better performance to the product. Because effectively all you need to look at here is Fenix A320 current build with that spec, 75 frames per second, with the new V2 Block 1, 85. With this spec at Anybuild's Heathrow, the current build is 22.3. And the V2 Block 1 for that user is 29. So a slight improvement of 5 to 10 frames per second roughly from that. So in short, we can deduce from that that they've made some performance improvements. That is it. That's all we can deduce from that. As Ashley says, and you're demonstrating here why charts mean nothing to exactly labelled charts showing different data. Now which one is real? Who knows? Both. Maybe none. All in a while, they say anyway. We'll go back to the forum post. We take the positive there that they're demonstrating improvements to the performance.
3, 2, 1, tango. Proceed direct. Goals. Forward.
In a worthwhile return they've made to performance, hopefully a variety of results will help illustrate the all-round boost we're looking to bring with Block 1. I wouldn't say it's a massive boost, it's just an improvement, but that's good nonetheless. Positive. I like it. In other news, despite shipping EGBB1 with Block 1, we've made little improvements here and there, with some requested for quite some time, including moving map charts. Look, we now have new Navigraph mapping tiles in the map section of the Navigraph app. That looks really, really good. And I use it exclusively for taxi. It's a moving map and you can have the aircraft displayed on it if you wish. That's really swish. I like that. That looks fantastic. Yeah, that's really good. Finally, much requested was the 180 PAX layout. Now sadly we're not able to support both 162 and 180 and V1, but we'll endeavour to make it possible to switch between them in the future. So for now we've updated that out to 180. That's the latest update from Fenix Sim as of 10 minutes ago. What do you guys think to that then? We can discuss it over the next half an hour. Curious to think what you think, or hear what you think rather. You can tell I've not had lunch.
Heading 085, Ryanair 3268.
Let's go to Mike Charlie, report Mach number.
81 for 2 Mach Charlie.
Let's go to Mach Charlie, copy, maintain Mach decimal 81 or greater.
Lovely high level fluffy clouds for us. Keep smashing the lights.
Report Mach number.
I love how it says Riga International expected on time punctuality, but we're not on time. We're actually late by 20 minutes.
254 copy for now, maintain Mach decimal 78 or less.
Maintain 78 or less, right there, 254.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. We'll be starting our descent in approximately 30 minutes, so still plenty of time to enjoy the rest of the flight. The arrival weather forecast is looking good, so it should be a nice easy approach into the airport.
Actually, is it 30 minutes?
We're not expecting any delays, so we should be able to land fairly quickly. Once we do start our descent, please make sure to listen carefully to any instructions from our cabin crew and pay special attention to the seatbelt sign.
13:59.
Thanks very much for flying with us, and I'll speak to you again shortly.
Oh, actually, so in 1 minute, we're 20 minutes from top of descent. So I'm going to do another announcement, make sure I get that correct, otherwise I'm going to get down marked for giving inaccurate information from the passengers. Again. We can do runway 18 for the fixed rings. we'll do 6 and 10, just to give us a little radius around the airport.
Delta 9 there, Charlie, after request that.
Delta 9 Charlie X-ray, taxi to holding point, runway 19 left.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit.
Zulu and
I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. Just to keep you updated,
So I can't actually trigger that anymore now.
Austrian 4 Alpha Juliet, wind 170 degrees, 10 knots, runway 19 left, clear for
our
takeoff.
original flight plan.
1 on the left, clear for takeoff,
Hopefully we'll be able to make some time up during our arrival. We'll certainly try our best. We'll keep you posted if anything changes, but in the meantime enjoy the remainder of the flight and I'll speak to you again once we're about to start our descent.
Finnair 321 Tango, descent to altitude 2,500 feet, QNH 1011.
So 14.
QNH 1011, descent
59,
to,
top of descent. So at 14:49, we have to basically do another little thing to say to the crew, or to the cabin that we're going to descend shortly, and then we can do another one to the crew just before descent, so we're descending now.
Sorry, say again for Osprey 2472?
Osprey 2472, identified, proceed direct Ninta, November India, November Tango Alpha.
Direct Nima for Osprey 2472.
Now, depending on when we land, I might not have
3268 conflict traffic, resume own navigation.
might not have time to watch everyone else's landing, unfortunately, which is rare. You know, I like to watch all of you guys touch down and you flying along and things. But I've got to get ready for work in exactly 1 hour now, so we're going to land. I'm going to have a few minutes to kind of chat and do bits and maybe watch 1 or 2 landings and shut the aircraft down, deboard, but beyond that we'll be struggling for time, so hopefully you guys appreciate that. I've got 13 hours night shift ahead of me. We've made the time back okay though. Rab says, I've just noticed runway 18 has a giant X at the threshold in the default scenery. And the sea is nice and calm, it's good to see.
Lucian 32 Yankee, push and start.
Lucian 32 Yankee, push back and start up approved.
Push back and start up approved. Lucian 32 Yankee.
MPS Gaming, did you have the default Riga? Because the ILS is broken apparently. VATSIM put that in the chat earlier on.
Copy that, Golf 435,
it was a question.
Clipper, yeah, dog's doing really well. Bouncing back from his surgery, doing really, really good. My hands are pretty much nearly all healed actually. A couple of marks and bits, but yeah, otherwise all good.
Gonna 91 kilo, when ready, descent to flight level 250.
Ready to flight can you have 1 kilo?
Go around 047 back.
Welcome back.
Swing control, good day, this is Osprey 236 with you at flight level 350.
Sounds like Jack.
Osprey 236, with control, hello, identified. Report your Mach number, please.
Mach .81.
Copy.
Austin 12 Juliet passing 3,400.
Lufthansa, Cushion Austrian 400 US identified. Climb to flight level 180, when passing level 60, proceed direct NEPA, November Echo, Papa Victor Alpha.
Hello, Captain.
Out of 60 NEPA, climb level 180, Austin 4 Juliet.
Seems to be okay, there's nothing to report.
Okay, no problem. I'll let you get back to work.
Thanks.
Lufthansa Charlie X-ray, wind 170 degrees, 10 knots, runway 19 left.
So there's the crew that's just answered the phone. Alana Nichols, the cabin manager.
Sweden Center, Osprey 1 access is far, flight level 250.
Osprey 196, Osprey control, hello. Report your Mach number, please.
Mach number 81, 190
Roger, Osprey 196, 4 maintain Mach decimal 81 or greater.
German Escobar, this is self-loading cargo. Self-loadingcargo.com.
Maintain Mach decimal.
It's the new version 1.6. It's had this huge UI change. Really swish look to it, actually. We found a couple of bugs with it today. It kind of fights GSX a little bit, but somebody said earlier on that they are looking to have it synchronized with GSX a little bit more effortlessly, a little bit more smoothly around September time. So we know that's going to be fixed. And yeah, all round actually, this is the second time using it live. I haven't got around to doing a video on it yet, but really impressive. Really impressive. Lots of data, and it just simulates the cabin behind you, so you've got a little bit more realism behind you, really. Behind the cabin, behind that flight deck door, it just seems a little bit more real. There's the toilet, which is right there behind the bulkhead.
Airborne passing 1,200. Charlie X-ray identified, climb to flight level 180. Climb flight level 180 was under there,
so top of descent in 100 nautical miles. We've got our arrival ready. We can look at the Evra ATIS again in Riga, see what ATC are generating, and there we go. Runway in use. 18 wireless Yankee.
When passing level 60, proceed direct to Netva.
Information Foxtrot.
Direct net of for
QNH 1014. So let's get the data that we spoke about put into the aeroplane before top of descent. So 1014 for the QNH. We'll set that, and there, so it's on standby.
21, clear for takeoff, Lufthansa 2, Yankee Foxtrot.
Estimated landing weight is 60.2 tons, so we can go to init ref. 60.2 selected. That's all set and correct, and we want flat 30 from our performance calculation we did earlier on, and that was set there as flat 31.42.
All 4 Alpha Juliet, proceed direct to PNR and climb to flight level 350.
Which, adding the 5 for today, gives us an approach speed of 147 knots. We've got our descent forecast in, the QNH is set, transition level is good, and we've checked.
Osprey 165 short is leaving my space, monitor Unicom 122, that's right, have a nice day.
Monitor Unicom 1228, Osprey 165, thanks to the ATC, have a good day. Default on the payware, a fine aviation simulator says it's the freeware with the ILS that has the issues. Yeah, we've got Just Sims Riga today. Just Sims are pretty kind of average developer. They churn out a load of scenery, but it's all very kind of 50-50. Look, a little bit good, a little bit. It's just average. Yeah. But I've not flown into this one before, I don't think, with it. I can't remember if I've used it before. I think we have in the past a while ago, just can't remember what it looks like. So the only thing we need to do now is kind of tell the crew that we're going to be descending shortly. Jack, where did you get SLC from? Selfloadingcargo.com. It's £16.99. And we've got a couple of Osprey Airways layouts for it as well. Rav says, I just noticed there's an update for World Update 14. So order break 3, ILS is all set and checked. BREF, minimums, QNH. ILS is a bit set. Jack, yeah, there's tutorials done by Self-Loading Cargo explaining how all the different functions work, but it's actually fairly... some of it's quite fairly self-explanatory anyway. Just by clicking around you get an understanding of how it works, but when I get some free time I'll be looking to do a little tutorial just to show how it all currently works. By the way, AIG is about to have a massive update. One of the model matching groups. They're changing the UI of AIG's interface entirely, making it a bit more user-friendly, and they've changed a significant number of the files, meaning that everybody's going to have to download about half of the pack again from scratch, but with much better, more accurate models, better noises, better sounds, better textures, and much better performance as well. So it sounds like they're actually going to start to compete with kind of the quality that FSLTL offers, perhaps. We'll find out next week. It releases in the next few days, apparently. And with that, I'll have to do a new tutorial on how to use AIG as well, because it's changed considerably. It's 10 minutes to top of descent. Let's see if we can update passengers. No, it won't let us.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far.
Yeah, there's a few less steps rather than before. They've taken one of the menus out entirely and kind of amalgamated it into a little bit of a simpler method, which is good. Can't seem to be able to put the thing in there actually. The estimated time of descent. So we're supposed to be landing in about 15 minutes, getting on stand. That's how delayed we are from that event. But that makes it really fun, immersive, busy. It makes it tough as well sometimes. Faye says, what's your honest opinion on the Tobii Eye Tracker 5? I don't use it all the time. I've still got the wing lights on. Oops. Yeah, I don't use it all the time. I find it can be a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes, to be honest, when you're in flight. So I use it for taxi, for me looking around when I'm taxiing around on the airport. But beyond that, I then toggle it off. So I turn it off through cruise, descent, takeoff, all of the different other phases of flight. And I don't always use it on the ground either. I only toggle it on and off if I want to look left or right. At that point I'll use the Tobii Eye Tracker. But I've noticed when it does, I still can't fix this, I don't understand why. So if I toggle it on now, all of a sudden it dives back really far to like almost in the seat. When I toggle it off, it zooms back in forwards again. But for me, the biggest issue is the mounting of it. So I've got a big 4K screen. I've cleaned it with alcohol wipes. I've followed all the instructions to making sure that the mount gets stuck on properly. And it doesn't. It kind of sits really wonky. So I'll straighten it, I'll push it, I'll hold it straight, really level on the frame of the screen for a couple of minutes. And I'll let go, and it kind of holds there for about 10 seconds. But then starts to droop slightly sideways again. I can't solve it. I've tried different tape and re-cleaned the surface and everything else, just doesn't want to sit level. So sometimes I'll load in on I'll toggle the Tobii Eye Tracker on, and it'll be like this. I just feel like, come on, then I'll just turn it off. But it has its uses and it's really good. What is nice sometimes is, let's go to this view here. There we go. We're on a there we are. We're on a wing view. I don't know why it jumps like that. I'm sure one of you guys know the answer of why it's doing that and how to stop it, I'd love to know. But you could be a passenger having a little look at the wing view. Look at that. Listening to people flush the toilet. Similarly, we can dip to this side. Yeah, look, I don't know why it's so far behind the view, but the view is actually meant to be there. But then I can't move the view beyond the seat, so I suppose it's a true wing view, isn't it? A true seat view. Let's see what other options we've got here. Yeah, it kind of gets itself stuck. So I only really use it on the ground, a taxi. It's a bit clunky, and I can't resolve some of the weird issues that we've just been talking about. I've tried so many different things. 4.4 tons, top of descent in 40 minutes, so 40 nautical miles, sorry, 5 minutes. We're going to wind this down to the altitude we need for the star, which is from the charts we looked at earlier on, at or below, at or above flight level 140, at or above flight level 110, at or above flight level 70. Actually, we'll just go all the way down to, we'll set 35, and then we'll just change it to whatever ATC tell us. But that is the at constraint that we're going to face next. We'll just let VNAV handle the rest all the way through the other constraints to get to that point. That over there, there's a pilot right on the distance, I think converging at the same time at Evra. It might be MPS Gaming from Edinburgh who's also flying along. Oh no, it's KLM 662 coming out of Manchester. So Goku's on his way in already, being vectored north actually, wow. So that's a big old shortcut. We'll be down sooner than we think perhaps. Lots of weather there. That's that big thunderstorm they mentioned was going to route north and then actually affect Riga in about 2-3 hours from now. So the weather continuously getting worse at the time. MPS, great job. And now what you need to do is just turn around and then fly back into Birmingham. The event's still taking place. Increase your chance of winning. So 3587, which is our current heading, versus our track of 079, Mach 80. Argus, I think I've done a tutorial on charts, but depends on what you're using. If you're using free charts like ChartFox, then they're all going to be in different formats. So you have to learn each format separately and know where to look for the different bits of information. Navigraph thankfully uses Jefferson, which is one nice, consistent, similar format, no matter where you are in the world.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope all is well with you and you enjoyed flying with us so far. Just to keep you updated, unfortunately it looks as though we may be a little delayed in getting to our destination. Air traffic control have changed our route slightly, which means we'll be taking a slight detour from our original flight plan. Hopefully we'll be able to make some time up during our arrival. We'll certainly try our best.
So, the other day we used self-loading cargo and we got penalised for not advising the crew when we were about to descend. Now the problem there is, it won't let me. So, how can I warn the crew that we're about to descend if I can't get to that clicky bit in the thing, if that makes sense? Yeah. I don't want tea, coffee, water.
Sorry, can I call you back?
No problem.
Yeah. Oh well, we tried. I'll probably be penalised for it. Okay, top descent time. 5 miles. Everything's set ready. Pop the VORs on as well because we'll be tracking Riga. 106 to go. I'm going to put the ILS 2 on, well, nav 2 onto ILS. To give me one less thing to do as we get closer. And down we go. We know Riga approach is online, looking at VPilot here. Ever approach 129925. So we can tune into them ready. We'll be speaking to them as we get a little bit closer to Gunter in a moment. There goes VNAV path. We'll We'll try and maintain our forward speed of Mach 80 for now. And then we've got 118 for ground. Thanks, Rab. 1188 ground. I notice you have to inform the crew via the intercom before doing the PA to the passengers. The option to inform the crew disappears as soon as the PA is done. Yeah, which is what I'm trying to do.
Hi.
It won't let me, look.
How's it going?
There's nothing much to report. Everything seems to be going okay.
Okay, thank you. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Thanks.
Stuart says, once you have announced a time before descent, it won't let you do it again and assess you on the accuracy of the time.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. As you may have noticed,
doing it
we've
now.
begun our descent. We should be arriving in around 20 minutes depending on local air traffic, and I will shortly be instructing the cabin crew to get the cabin ready for our arrival.
Which will be now,
Once
because
it
we
happens,
are
the
about to
seatbelt
go into
sign will
clouds,
be
so we're going to get
illuminated.
wing and
You
engine
will be required
anti-ice
to stay
on.
seated and secured until after
Certainly
landing.
because we know
If you need to
there's
visit the
thunderstorms
toilet,
due
it
at
may be
Riga
worth making
in the
your
next
way
2 or 3
towards
hours,
now.
therefore we can
For now,
expect,
though, I will wish you a
in
very
lieu of
good
actually having
afternoon
any
once again, and
weather
I'll
radar
speak to you in a
working,
short while once
we
we've
could
landed.
assume that within here we might have some embedded cumulonimbus or cumulus clouds, tops of which could have loads of ice in them, which could affect our aircraft. So let's be safe and sensible, and we'll preempt that ready. Boarding Time says this is a perfect podcast. I have toyed with the idea of doing a few podcasts on the channel, but I don't really know what I would talk about or do with them. PA system, nothing available. Let's see what the crew want. We see if we can speak to them again. Busy trying to get the cabin ready.
Hi, Captain.
How's it going?
Everything seems to be okay. There's nothing to report.
Okay, no problem. I'll let you get
What
back
I
the
wanted to do is actually
Thanks very much.
do this. Seatbelt signs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain
Bam.
has turned the seatbelt signs on. Please take your seats. You must now remain seated until the signs are turned off.
So some of the issues that we face within this are kind of user error more than anything else, because certainly for descent as an example, still learning how it all kind of works and what the different triggers and the processes are, because we are using this automated feature. If I was to use the voice comms option, however, it might actually allow me to just trigger things like announce descent and things. Slightly negative overall experience. Seatbelt sign is now on, but the movie is still playing, which we can also see in here, which is the cabin management tab. Let me just move that to the white so you can read it a bit better, which is almost complete. 2 minutes remaining of the film. So when you select your in-flight services at the start, it will look at how long your flight is using your SimBrief profile, and it will mean that it will configure the food, the meal, drink service, the in-flight entertainment accordingly, depending on how long your flight is due to be. Eventually, when we get a bit lower as well, we have Wi-Fi service on board Osprey Airways. It will turn that off, and we'll leave the cabin crew dealing with the zone lighting on board. Music's currently switched off. But yeah, no duty free, no alcohol, food and drink is complete, movie is almost done. Lots of pea soup. Okay, let's speak to the approach controller. Over at approach 129925 and then ground 1188. So we've got both frequencies ready, brakes are off. Quick check of the ATIS. Still Foxtrot. Riga approach, good afternoon, Osprey 165. Boeing 737 with Foxtrot, QNH 1014, descending flight level 280, currently inbound Gunter.
Osprey 165, read approach low radar contact, turn left heading 040, vector trials, Yankee approach runway 18, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1014.
Turn left 040, expect vectors ILS, runway 18 approach, descend 4,000 feet, QNH 1014, Osprey 165. Lots of information. Remember, we're high up and we're fast, so we're using a reduced angle of bank here. It's going to take us a little longer to complete the turn. We'll whack it up to 15. And that in itself is actually going to maybe cut another 5 minutes off our flight time. Completely zero visibility throughout this whole arrival today.
Osprey 495, turn right heading 150.
With that, we've got to keep the icing on. We've actually left the wing lights on now. The point is turning them off because we can monitor the structure of the wings.
150,
make sure we haven't got any ice building up.
Yeah,
really nasty thunderstorms in the vicinity. Wrap, it's not. And vectors all the way to the ILS, very exciting. So with that, I'm going to show a direct to
All stations, information golf is current.
Acnes for now. In fact, I want it. Yeah. Heading select. That's just going to switch the VNAV up. So with that, we'll go flight detent, speed brake out, increase our rate of descent. Because we are 10,000 feet apparently now. Above VNAV path. Oh jeez, that's not good. Logo lights, wing lights, icing. Yeah, I think so, Ram.
Osprey 165, you have about 17 track miles to run. Osprey 495, thank you, surface wind 140 degrees 4 knots, runway 18 clear to land.
Runway 18 clear to land, Osprey 495.
I'm going to go to vertical speed mode now and actually bring our speed down.
662, turn left heading 025, delay vectors and please expedite descent.
Turn left 0, wait, could you speed now to 60?
Gallon 662, turn left heading 025.
Left 025,
starting to get a bit of thinning of the cloud now, look. So almost at the cloud base, at least in this area. Further murky clouds heading east.
Turn left heading 010.
Left 010, Osprey 165. Nice and smooth. 2-2, we'll keep the speed brake out. Look at that. The sim looks spectacular, doesn't it? Hope you guys have enjoyed the flight today and the route that we've chosen. Back during the live chat, one of our channel members selected the route for today.
Please go to Mike Charlie, Riga approach, hello radar, contact descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1014.
Turn at 4,000 feet, QNH 1014, Whisker to Mike Charlie.
Please go to Mike Charlie, expect vectors for hours, Yankee approach, runway 18.
Vectors, Silas Yankee 18, to Mike Charlie.
One ahead, 20 miles. Gary, great to hear, buddy. Look at that weather. So further in that direction, it's really murky.
KLM 662 descent 4,000 feet.
And it's kind of leaving us right on the edge of this whole big weather cell here. So they're in for a heck of a thunderstorm tonight around lovely Latvia. Grant H, welcome on board, buddy. Thanks for subscribing. Great to have you with us today. Hope you're doing well. And wow, boom, straight in, gold frequent flyer. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Be sure to link your Discord user account as well, or your YouTube account in your Discord user settings. It will get you access into the club lounges and the gold Concord room in Discord too. Look at this. There's the coast.
Riga approach, good afternoon, Ryanair 3268, descending to 18,000 feet, inbound at 10-6, with information calls on board.
Ryanair 3268, Riga approach, low radar contact, continue present heading, vector south, Yankee approach runway 18 descent,
try and get rid of this speed a little bit.
Descent to 4,000 feet on QNH 1014 and proceed on present heading.
Yeah, it looks great, doesn't it? We can maybe fly the aeroplane kind of like this so we can see the views.
Visco to Mac Charlie, turn left heading 070 and confirm you have assigned speed.
Negative assigned speed, left heading 030, too much, Charlie.
Roger, thank you.
Struggling to descend any quicker really with any deceleration.
Osprey 165 expedite descent.
Say again for Osprey 165.
Osprey 165 expedite descent.
Enable unless I go high speed, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, roger, delay vectors.
Roger, Osprey 165.
Riga approach, good afternoon. Ryanair 254 passing flight number 150 for 125.
Ryanair 254 Riga approach, low radar contact, turn right heading 090.
So the vectors have been really helpful, but what they've done is actually bring us in far too close and far too high. And with the energy management of the aeroplane, we've got the speed brake as far out as we can get it in flight, and we can't descend any faster.
KLM 662, turn right heading 100.
So it's one of those things.
Right 100, KLM 662.
Gentlemen, we are about to land. Please can you clear all lights?
Can't, no, go into Discord, then go into your user settings and then connect your YouTube account to that, and it will get you access into the Discord club lounge within our Discord server.
Osprey 495, welcome to the contact ground 118.8, goodbye.
Over to 118.8, Osprey 495, thank you, bye bye.
Ryanair 3268, report indicated airspeed.
280 knots.
Right, cabin secure.
Ryanair 3268, roger, maintain speed 280.
Maintaining speed 280, Ryanair 3268.
Ryanair 254, speed 250 knots, turn left heading 065.
Speed 250 knots and turn left at 065, Ryanair 254.
Seba, yeah, it's just a slippy aeroplane. The 787 is even worse. The Boeing 787 is such an aerodynamically slippy aircraft that when you're trying to manage the energy of the aeroplane in descent, you end up descending every time with speed brake at some point because it's just so slippery, and you extend to your rate of descent above 1500 foot per minute. Right, 055 Osprey 165. Then you find that it just means that you have the aeroplane run away from you quite a bit. With this, I'm just going to go to 1400 foot per minute now, 055. Oops. Lights. Signs. Pop them onto continuous for now as well. In case I forget. One ahead of us. Let's bring the range ring in.
Left 360.
We're looking.
Charlie.
He's about here somewhere.
662, continue descent to 2,500.
So speed's good for flap 5 now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to extend flap 2. That's going to increase the drag on the airframe because we're now extending the surface area of the wing. There we go.
Runner 254, turn left heading 040, speed 220.
So we've increased drag on the aircraft. That's going to help us decelerate the aeroplane and manage the energy a little bit better now. So there's all these little things that we can do to try and help the aeroplane keep up. We can bring our speed down to 210.
662, turn right heading 0, correction 190.
And with that, our rate of descent is much better. 10 minutes, Grant.
165, turn right heading 090, continue descent 2500.
090 and continue descent 2500, so Osprey 165.
We've got Mac Charlie speed 220.
Transition, local pressure, set.
220, too much Charlie.
Yeah, the tailwind as well, that's pushing us all the time, really making us struggle with rate of descent. So we were descending as fast as we could. We go to flap 2 now, as we mentioned before.
Okay, 1662, continue right turn to 195, clear dials Yankee approach runway 180, report established.
195 cleared white, 18 Yankee approach KLM662, report when established.
Okie doke.
Runner 3268, speed
Wireless 1 and 2 active, 111.1175, 22 DME, that's all good, and set correct. Missed approach is briefed, auto brake is set, flaps currently green and 2. We'll go flap 5 now. There's the aircraft in front. We'll just reduce our rate of descent massively here actually. We're actually back on profile a little bit. So flap 5, we didn't need to extend then, but we have...
Charlie, stop climb at flight level 60.
And we'll arm the speed brake now. Part brakes confirmed off.
Correction, stop descent at flight level 60.
Yep, got it. Stop the set at 60. Too much Charlie.
Master caution check. Cabin pressure is set and depressurising nicely.
662, confirm you're establishing.
Should be getting a left turn in a right turn, sorry, to establish.
I'm not on it yet, sorry. Contact went on the ILS KLM662.
KLM 662, turn right.
There's the airport, and there's somewhere, I think that is the airport in fact.
Right 200 degrees, KLM662, yes, established.
Osprey 165, turn right heading 160, clear dials Yankee approach runway 18, report established.
Right turn 160, cleared ILS 18, report established, Osprey 165. Here we go, last opportunity to smash the like button folks. If you've enjoyed today's live stream, it's been good. Awesome boarding time. So, I'll hold at 25, that's all good. Heading 160, approach mode arms. BOR lock arm, glide slope arms.
140 inbound Gunter.
Osprey 2472 Riga,
18
radar
miles.
contact, turn left heading 360, vector flight, Yankee approach runway 18, descend to 4000, QNH 1014.
Descend left to 300 degrees, descend to 6000 and QNH 1014, Osprey 2472.
Osprey 2472, confirm left 360.
Left 360, Osprey 2472.
Runway 3268, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, runway 3268.
To be fair, we've got a bit of time back from today's flight.
Runway 254, turn right heading 055.
So right heading 055, right here 255. 255.
So it's up to you if you want the passenger simulation in the background, really. 1 dot to go.
Runway 3268, turn right heading 090.
Turn right 090, runway 3268.
And runway 3268, continue descent to 2500.
Continue descent to 2500 feet.
Oh, wiggled off to the right there. 175, 175. Lock A is active and established.
1662, thank you, sufficient 140 degrees 4 knots, runway 18.
There's no way he's established on the ILS, he's all over the place. Unless he's in a Fokker F28. Osprey 165, established ILS 18, 12 miles.
Osprey 165, thank you, continue approach your number 2.
We'll go Osprey 165. MPS, I like it, it's quite swish, it's a very nice UI, it's got its bugs, but we can work around those, and they're linked to the fact I'm trying to use GSX for the pushback, which also does all the boarding and everything else. But yeah, really quite a nice bit of kit, to be fair.
Right heading 060, Whisker to my Charlie.
Runner 254, turn right heading 090 and continue descent 4000.
80.
Right to the 090
10 miles.
and continue to descend to 4000.
Otherwise we're going to get too close to him.
Control Osprey 194 with information. Go.
Get rid of the music.
Passing by level 23.
Lazarus, good job. 10 out of 10.
Osprey 1964 Riga, approach radar contact, turn left heading 010 degrees, vector south, Yankee approach runway 18, descent 5000, QNH 1014.
Turn left is 010, descend to 5000, KNH 1014, Hanaway, landing for Hanaway 18.
We had a few seconds to sort that. BOR glide slope captured. We've got it back. You know what I did there? As I dropped the gear, I hit the trim lever on my Honeycomb Bravo throttles. 160. Just check that's going to be flap 30 in the notch. It is. Heart brake is off, speed brake is on.
Speed 200.
Speed 200, runway 3268.
Riga approach, good day, this is Osprey 236, inbound
Okay, because they're on flight deck time.
Passing
Commands at the bottom
flight
to
level
show you guys how I'm controlling the aircraft.
Level 140.
Auto thrust off.
Osprey 236.
Let's fly it in from here, shall we?
Radar contact, continue present heading.
Autopilot off.
South, Yankee approach runway 18.
147 is the target. That's set flap 30 green and nose gear. We'll get down to
runway
3 green.
18 via ILS Yankee, Osprey 226, thanks.
Calum 62, vacate the runway.
Calum 662, contact Riga ground 118.8.
118.8, cancel 2.
Osprey 165, surface and 140 degrees 4 knots, runway 18 clear to land.
Runway 18 clear land, Osprey 165.
Runway 3268 turn right,
a little bit of sync
heading
here.
160 clear dial.
Make sure we sort this out. 1000 check.
Speed 180 till 6.
Right, heading 160.
It's interesting because there's no wind on the nav display, but when I let go of the controls, the aeroplane begins to roll to the right, look. So there is an element of wind, it's just not reading enough.
Charlie, turn right, heading 150.
Right, heading 150, Whisker, too much, Charlie.
Very nice green, lush green approach. Beautiful town on the left.
Osprey 236, turn left, heading 020.
That we are kind of zipping over at the moment. Ooh,
Turn
that's
left, heading 020, Osprey 236.
A little bit of power to hold the speed and the rate of descent. Constant little bits of left aileron here. Maybe it's the aileron trim.
Right there, 254.
Please go to Mac Charlie, free speed.
300.
Free speed, too much, Charlie.
And we've got to vacate Yankee. We can see it. It's getting pushed ever so slightly there. Off the centre line.
Descent 2500.
Saying 2,500, right there, 254.
Looking ahead. Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Definitely a crosswind.
Please go to Mac Charlie, descent 4000 feet,
decelerating. A bit firm, but we've got to use the runway that we've got to try and vacate at Yankee, which is coming up next. 90 knots. Here it comes, 70 knots. Speed's almost good for exit. 60. Perfect. And slow enough,
Riga approach,
my brakes.
good evening, Eurowings 8813 past Mirma, inbound Gunta,
there's the touchdown.
180
Shy of the centre line just a little bit, but well in the touchdown zone. If we touched down any later, we'd have missed Yankee. So we just had to do firm and accurate rather than smoothness.
Cabin crew, doors to manual, please.
And Riga approach, good evening, Eurowings 8813, out of 180 for 140, inbound Gunta.
Eurowings 8813, approach will set clock 4147.
Once that happens, we will start deboarding and you'll be able to leave the aircraft.
4147 for Eurowings 8813.
Do our after landing checks.
Please go to Mac Charlie, turn right, heading 200, descent 2500.
Block there again, too much, Charlie.
Okay, first.
Too much, Charlie, say again.
Ryanair 3268, surface wind, calm, runway 18 clear to land.
Runway 18 clear to land, Ryanair 3268.
Osprey 165, welcome to Riga, contact ground 118.8.
Got the ground 1188, Osprey 165. Thanks for the ATC, have a good day.
Please go to Mac Charlie.
Super busy. See what we get. Riga ground, good afternoon. Osprey 165 is left on Charlie.
Osprey 165, Riga ground, good afternoon. Taxi to stand 105 via Foxtrot and Sierra.
Stand at 1055 Foxtrot and Sierra. Good afternoon, Osprey 165. Okay, GSX. 105, set. We don't need no follow me. We know where we're going. Handling by Wizz Air. Interesting. Don't know what the KLM's doing. Hopefully he turns in a moment. PA system. No commands available.
Osprey 165, hold position. Brake, 662. You missed taxiway Tango, turn left to Sierra and taxi to stand 107.
Very less than Sierra to stand 107.
That looks good. Ryanair's just about to touch. Ooh, pushing it for time.
Osprey 165, continue taxi.
Continue, Osprey 165. Yeah, this is Just Sims Riga. As we said earlier on, they make fairly average scenery, nothing special. But I wanted something other than default for you guys today. So 105 on the charts.
Osprey 165, appears like your stand has been taken. Taxi to stand 107, please.
No worries. Stand 107, Osprey 165. Somebody's not looking at the charts properly. We don't need follow me.
M60 start down after 1.
Yeah, so on the charts then we're going to go Foxtrot down to Sierra.
662, say again.
Left at 107.
M60 start down, have a nice day.
There's, I think, Zagoku.
Khan 662, have a nice day too, bye bye.
Riga ground, good evening, Ryanair 3268 vacated on Bravo.
I don't know if you guys heard at the start of today, but what was quite impressive with SLC was the fact that when we were doing the welcome on board announcement as the pilot of the flight, we were telling the passengers that we were flying to Riga, and that's not something I'd scripted in. It would recognise it, and it was using kind of the text-to-speech and AI, if you like, in order to read that out and read it from our Simple flight plan. Really impressive.
Foxtrot and Sierra to stand 109er, Ryanair 3268.
There he is with his sticks. This is me using the Tobii eye tracker now. My merch can ship to Australia, Gary, yes. In fact, some of it is made in Australia, if you're that side of the world. Australia, Europe, including the UK and Canada, and the US as well, for kind of like the manufacturing areas for our channel merch. Here he is in his blue suits, giving me the distance measurements. Lean up a little bit so I don't lose sight of him. Brakes, sets, APU's good, engines off, wait for the chocks, that's all good, that's all set. Menu, FS actions, ground surfaces, chock set.
Riga ground, good afternoon, Ryanair 254 on Yankee.
Ryanair 254, Riga ground, good afternoon, stand 108 via Foxtrot and Tango.
Anti-collision lights off, so now the ground crew will read us.
Go ahead.
Ryanair 254, confirm via Foxtrot and Tango.
108 via Foxtrot and Tango, Ryanair 254.
Roger.
The crew are already doing their thing anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with us.
Request
We do
deboarding.
apologise for the delay and hope it does not impact your onward journey too much. If you do require further assistance, please contact our ground team once you enter the terminal. Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
Instant deboarding.
How are things going?
We're busy deboarding the passengers. I'll let you know once we're done.
Thank you.
No problem.
13 minutes left. Don't make me nervous, Rab. I haven't even had any lunch. My goodness. Oh look, Just Sim Riga. Jetway realism to the max. This is why I'm not really a fan of Just Sim products. They are rather messily created. There's the Ryanair. Right, let's pause New Sky That's so weird, isn't it? What on earth? Let's have a look at New Sky. We'll see what we're getting for our results. So, we'll close the flight here. Then we'll wait for our report. I am Rab, yeah. It's been a busy day. See what we get here. And so, flight delayed by 6 minutes overall. 462 penalty and a slight deduction of score for 0.3. But otherwise, that would have been a perfect 10 out of 10. Challenging conditions, nice firm touchdown. In the right place at the right time on the runway. So I'd have got 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for the delay for the departure today. But these things happen. It's aviation, isn't it? Balance 12,389 overall profit for the day too. Epic. Now it'd be interesting to see what we get from SLC.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. All passengers have left the aircraft. That was a bit of a rough landing. You certainly made your presence known to the locals.
Yes.
As this is where SLC kind of falls foul. It's a little bit more maybe gamey than it is accurate. Because, yeah, it's a firm touchdown, but it has to be a firm touchdown. There's no middle ground. 2 for 2 with that now, according to this.
Just a reminder,
and the touchdowns have been incredibly different too. But it is fun.
Roger.
And that's a feature I really like. Make sure you've deactivated your flight tracking. That's actually quite close. In fact, that is the same, isn't it? 3.4G. Oh no, sorry, 1.34G on New Sky as opposed to 1.24. So it uses a slightly different mechanism to track that. But yeah, delayed arrival, and then I'll bring up the log from today's self-loading cargo flights. And all round, overall, this is a very good product. I do like self-loading cargo actually. Overall, very impressed. Got a bad pilot grade of C for that one though.
Ground, good afternoon. Whiskey 2 Mike Charlie, vacated on Charlie.
Actual. Wow.
Please go to Mike Charlie, Riga ground, good afternoon. Taxi to Stunt 105 via Fox.
You departed well behind schedule and slightly late at your destination. Couldn't do anything about that. Been absolutely slammed on the points for that though. But we managed to get most of the time back. Look, we left 19 minutes late, but only arrived 7 minutes late. So we did all right. Takeoff was good, even in those horrible conditions. Firm landing experienced. I love that. 0 out of 100. Your landing would have been a lot smoother if you flared a little earlier, so try to ease it down a little better next time. Nonsense. Yeah, that's my bad. Got 50-point deduction for that though. Oof. And we couldn't do anything about that because we had that GSX bug with it, where it doesn't kind of interact properly with one another. We got caught in a loop on the announcement, so we got 50-point penalty for that. Couldn't do that because it got stuck in the UI, so we couldn't actually tell the crew we were descending. But yeah, we had an inaccurate descent notification to the crew. To be fair, we said 30 minutes when in fact it was near to 20. That's things that we need to improve on really, so it's a good little report that you can read to improve your performance and stuff in the future. But yeah, we satisfied the passengers and we made profit on New Sky. Great job. Like the world's weirdest Riga jetty in the world. I think that's the weirdest disembarkation I've ever seen on Microsoft Flight Simulator in fact. But it is what it is. I blame the scenery for that. Just in Riga, look, very, very meh, isn't it? It's nothing incredible, but it's the only payware available for it. There's the Whiz. Oh, love it. Some Eurovision love. And our 737 paint scheme there. And we've got a funeral final. But I have to get ready for work now, folks. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed today's service from Birmingham to Riga in lovely Latvia. Part of the world we don't really explore enough in the sim, really. Perhaps we'll do more of it in the near future. Big thank you to everyone who's taken part in Midsummer Madness. Huge thanks to the ATC and those of you flying along too. Don't forget that Midsummer Madness event continues tomorrow as well. We are a channel partner slash kind of sponsor for the event as well. So hopefully lots and lots of Osprey Airways flights into and out of Birmingham over the rest of this evening into tomorrow as well, and that way you guys can be in with a chance to win some really good prizes, including a flight simulator experience as well. In the meantime, as always, thank you very much for watching. I've got a big old night shift ahead of me, grueling indeed, and I'll see you all in another stream in the near future, a couple of days. So enjoy the rest of the weekend, and thanks for watching. Take care. Bye for now.
And Riga ground, Osprey 2.